welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where today we'll talk about the Nintendo Direct that happened and how great it actually turned out to be, despite measured expectations from a lot of what I saw all over the internet. PlayStation suing Tencent for ripping off Horizon Forbidden West, THQ Nordic having their showcase and showing off the reveal of a much anticipated title, which we're definitely going to talk about, and Battlefield 6 being revealed and also played live, and EA looking to expand the franchise further, and a bit more here, as well as when we get into the censorship and issues going on in gaming and affecting the internet as a whole. But first off, we'll get into what we've been playing and jump right into it. Weeb, how are you, man, and what have you been playing?
Yeah, I'm good. If By the way, if you hear me some purring, I'm there's a cat on my lap that I'm babysitting on for a friend of mine. So, and of course, she thinks she's number one, always wants all the attention.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Oh, and there she goes again, using my belly as a
Accept
bridge.
it. Just accept it. She's part of the
Yeah,
family now.
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna win this one. No.
No,
So
you will.
yeah. I mean, the battle was lost before it started. Um, yeah, I mean, good. Yesterday we had a little Otter Nation get together with Omar and Viper in Amsterdam. So it was great seeing everybody face to face and shooting the shit. Um, so yeah, that was really fun.
So what you're
And
saying is the
today,
internet is a real place.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we
yes,
noticed this.
we
Yeah,
it, it
we
it's
confirmed that.
yeah, yeah, we confirm we're not AI. We actually are real people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And today, back to that Stranding, making those rounds again. Uh I am in chapter 9, but I'm like, yeah, I'm just spend all week trying to level up all the facilities, doing all the side missions. So I'm doing anything but continue the story. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's all for a good cause because I know that I'll reduce the grind once I finish the game. Uh, and you know me, I like to build my roads, and once level 2 roads unlocked, I like building my level 2 roads. So yeah, I've been doing everything the game has to offer. Um, and yeah, I mean, that this is my jive, right? Like I love this is like the fun grind where you just you're doing stuff that is not part of the critical path, but you're doing all of that. You don't have to think about it too deeply. You're just you're just cruising, delivering packages. Or rather, I mean, it's not necessarily true. You don't have to think deeply. Like I'm always thinking, okay, so if I deliver the package there, then I can, store our packages here. Then fast travel to that location, do pick up something there, and then drive back to, the facility to pick up the rest of the packages and deliver them. Like I have all these strategies in mind for for efficiency's sake, and I'm still like busy for
Yeah.
hours just driving around, delivering all those goodies, and then figuring out, okay, once you're in the mountain area, you have to start building zip lines, and of course there are those people who build their zip lines in inconvenient places, and you're like, okay, don't want to waste it, so I just have to build another one next to it
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
then I can actually reach that next zip line instead of it being blocked by an obstacle or just out of range or stuff like that. And it took me for ages to remember that the very beginning of the game said, oh yeah, you can also now curve your zip lines. And at that point in time, I wasn't even using my zip lines because I was building my roads, and then like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. So then I remembered, yeah, I could have saved me a lot of zip lines because I was keep building them because they were just out of sight, and I could probably have just curved them and gotten away with it. But no use in crying over spilled milk. So yeah, enjoying Death Stranding 2. That's it, and hopefully next week I can roll credits, and maybe we can talk a bit about about the ending of the game or not. I don't know if you're gonna do spoiler cast for this one, but anyway, that's my gaming this week.
No doubt. Yeah, well, I mean, we might do like a smaller one where we like set it at the end of the podcast and talk about it once everybody's done. Just because I don't think there's a lot there, but I don't think there's as much to talk about as 3 to 4 hour podcasts as we did for Expedition.
I think Expedition was also is quite like a unique event, really, where we had like this game that did everything especially we want Final Fantasy to do. Death Stranding 2 is a great game, but like it's a sequel, right? So it is the surprise is gone. It's just like we can talk about how much better it's doing everything, and the direction the story takes, but like it's not. We don't have to spend hours explaining. Okay, yeah, this is the gameplay. Like, yeah, you just play Death Stranding 1. That's the game. That's the gameplay.
Yeah, basically. Omar, how are you, man? And what have you been playing, sir?
Some people, we've said it. We confirmed we are not AI. Every single one of us. It was phenomenal. And can't wait for it to happen again. Meeting the Otter crew. Oh, and we literally had an Otter t-shirt. You can't make this up. You absolutely can't make this up. With that being said, on the
It's
game,
about the life.
he is all about that life. Heck, even his debit card, I think it's an Otter one. He is all about the Otter life. With that being said, what have I been playing? So I took a break from Banisher and went a little bit on a Borderlands farming spree, Borderlands 3. Um, right now DLC both are discounted. I have the first season. I need to get the second season. Apparently, one of the DLC gives you new abilities, so I'm looking forward to that one. And besides that, I played the demo to see what the fuss is about. It's interesting, but I have something else to play on my mind right now, which is going to be none other than Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I'm actually going to take a break from Banisher and start Ragebound. The irony is, after the Nintendo Showcase, I actually downloaded Monster Hunter Stories 1 to play it, and then I remembered, oh yeah, no, Ragebound is about to drop. So yeah, it's all about Ragebound right now.
Yeah, so what's happening is Omar is giving you guys a verbal representation of his ADHD, by the way.
I am random, like I admit to that. I am random. I don't have ADHD, but I am random. I don't have ADHD.
I would beg to differ, sir. If you can get that clinically checked and they tell you you come back with a bill of clean health that you do not have ADHD, I will be shocked.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna test myself. And with that, I'm going to the doctor and ask for a test because real tough. This sounds just how I roll on a whim. I do what I do. This is like you guys wouldn't believe me when I said I shoot my movies from Twitter. Like I have a few I want to ask you to get to me so I can watch. And I did promise watching Top Gear too, but it's just that's how I roll.
I hear you.
Apparently, I might have ADHD. We will see. But yeah, no, that's all about me. What about you? What have you been playing?
Yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, I've finished in Platinum Death Stranding 2. We talked about that. Really enjoyed that. Um, and then we have, right now, it's just kind of like in between, but I've been playing Killing Floor 3 with Priscilla as that came out. Um, Definitely got some work to be done, some updates they need to add. You could tell it's like just the start of it. And Killing Floor is always an ongoing process of a bunch of updates and so on and whatnot. But yeah, enjoying what they did so far. They really listened in the feedback um, and created a solid title, so that we are definitely having fun with. Um, and then I went back to play some more Chained Echoes. I started it originally. I mean, I probably got 10 minutes in tops and dropped it and just couldn't get into it for something else, just because I was already playing something else really heavy, and then it's game after game after game after game. Um, so
It
I've
wait
been
on you,
finally.
eh?
You said what?
It wait on you. Like you need to. Sometimes games need its own time. You don't just rush it. I know the feeling.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not a rusher. Like when it comes to stuff like that, people rushing, completing like 72 games in a year, stuff like that. I'm not doing all that. It's not a speed run for me. I want to enjoy my titles, especially my RPGs. Really have their own time where I can dedicate time to them and play them consistently and really just get immersed into the worlds and what they have to offer. So yeah, Chained Echoes is one that definitely deserved that, especially a lot of people stating that it had some relation to Xenogears, as far as some people felt like, um, I guess in the story, and the fact that there's mechs and a couple other things going on with the game. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. Um, Definitely takes some getting used to with the combat. There's some interesting quirks in the combat they kind of throw your way. But yeah, I think I've only unlocked like half the cast or something so far, and there's a ton of characters. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, and just kind of swapping characters in and out and getting to experience all that the game has to offer. And it's very, very, I guess, strategic or more intricate combat, which I'm enjoying because that's a heavy favorite of mine. When you can really specialize each of your characters to do something different that the others don't offer, and then having systems on top of that to make it even deeper with the class system that they have in the game. So just adding more dynamics to the game and what you can really do and achieve per character. But that game has been incredible. And then I also jumped back into a little bit of Ace Combat 7. Um, that's something I've been working on for a while. Mainly 'cause I've been going on like one of the harder difficulties to try and unlock all the aces, which is pretty tough, even for someone like me who has played Ace Combat for years. Some of these missions have some insane time constraints and other crazy maneuvers you've got to get or pull off in a certain amount of time in order to unlock some of these S rank pilots to show up and stuff like that. So again, that's been fun, and I have the Top Gun Maverick planes and stuff in the game as well when they added that on. So it's fun to just play around and fly like the game, which is kind of ironic that they made a kind of a crossover with them, because when you actually watch Top Gun, I was like one of the first people to realize, like, okay, the way that they structured showing you how the mission was run is literally like a mission briefing in Ace Combat. And then like a couple weeks later they announced the crossover with Ace Combat and Top Gun Maverick, so that was pretty funny. So someone was definitely a fan on Top Gun Maverick uh, of how Ace Combat does its combat missions. Um, but yeah, and then I tried the Fantasia Neo Dimension demo. Again, interesting thing, kind of mechanics with that game, being that it's kind of like in a diorama. Um, I didn't, I feel like I definitely only just scratched the surface what it's capable of, because there's quite a few characters in that game as well. So that's something I'll look forward to getting around to eventually. I just wanted to try the demo and get a feel for it, and something I'll probably catch on sale later this year and add it to the collection once I've actually got time to get to it. Um, and then Saga Emerald Beyond was another game I was interested in after picking up the Romancing Saga 2 remake. So I have been trying that out as well. So quite a few games and whatnot. So it's just been a lot of fun just getting to all these games. But yeah, mainly concentrating on Chained Echoes right now. And when I'm not playing that, it is really just honestly anime and audiobooks, man. It's just there's so much stuff to consume and stuff like that, and then with life stuff happening, so it's just like you gotta find the time somewhere. But it's been enjoyable. But yeah, like I said, we'll go ahead and jump into the first topic, and if Morgan makes it here, we'll go ahead and do her intro because I know she's been playing an indie here recently, so I'll let her introduce that if she comes along here. But we'll jump into our first topic. So a lot of people have seen or either seen this or heard, but PlayStation is suing Tencent for ripping off the Horizon franchise. Clearly, if anybody's seen it, there's a running joke long before this suit even came up. When we all watched it and saw the reveal of this together, we were laughing because we were kind of like, is this Horizon like the whole time? Just to see that it's basically all the parts of Horizon wrapped in like a Pow World-esque wannabe, like, constantly expanding world. And I guess the credence to this lawsuit, of course, is that Tencent tried to approach PlayStation and ask them if they could kind of make this game based using the actual Horizon IP, and PlayStation was like no, because obviously PlayStation is making an MMO of some sort, or at least that's the leak, at least, right? They have never actually confirmed it, but the early footage we saw that got leaked looked pretty rough. But yeah, I mean, anyone who has seen this title knows that it definitely looks pretty rough, or not that, but the game looked rough. But this title, how close it looks to Horizon is what I meant to say. But yeah, I'll pull it up on screen here so you guys can see it as we're talking about it. Because I mean, it is incredible how close it looks. Like that from the machine, the way the machines are structured, the blue-esque kind of thing going on. They even kind of rip off Destiny even with the little floating mechanical eye that kind of looks like your companion in Destiny. So they did a lot with this to kind of think they were going to get away with it, which I also found ironic that it was a Pow World-esque type game, because Pow World obviously also got in trouble eventually for copying a lot of things from Pokemon, and including things they had to eventually take out of the game during the suit, after they kind of taunted Nintendo about, hey, you guys can come sue us, whatever, it's not a big deal, we can handle it. But it does state here, 7 months ago, Tencent, the world's biggest game company, revealed a new project, Light of Mortarim, a futuristic open world game from Studio Polaris Quest, where machines rule the land. If that sounds familiar, the actual trailer and its cybernetic animals only further implied a specific inspirational source: Sony and Guerrilla Games' Horizon series. Now Sony is taking Tencent to court over it. Filed on July 25th, the lawsuit intends to block Tencent from releasing the game, which it argues violates Sony's interactive entertainment intellectual property, while also seeking $150,000 in statutory damages for each separate work in the Horizon series infringed. In its lawsuit, Sony calls Light of Mortarim a slavish clone of Horizon that egregiously replicates some of the signature elements found in the PlayStation series. And like I said, I mean, you guys can see it here. There's even some of the footage where she has quite a bit of her gear that makes her resemble even Aloy more. A ton of the machines that are designed in the game look that way. I mean, honestly, that thing just on screen a minute ago, the red one, like I said, that could be a direct rip from Destiny even on part of this for your little light that shows up here. So yeah, they might have even infringed on more than one thing. But yeah, clearly most of it is Horizon with the dinosaurs, the mechanical machines, and the blue light. I mean, they didn't hide it at all. And the fact that they even tried to get PlayStation to greenlight sharing the IP even kind of furthers that, right? But yeah, it's pretty wild. Just blatant
I
Even
mean,
the way
I
disrespect.
mean, it's an admission.
Huh?
even the way the character is standing like that at the end shot, literally mimic Horizon verbatim.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. What do you think of this, man? You think they got a case?
I, I mean, that's a slam dunk. Like you have everything. Like if these motherfuckers ask you for the license twice, like you that's an admission. Like you can't even deny it. That you literally want. You were making that game and you were hoping they would give you the license because you're already making it. And when they said no, oh, let's keep on making it. Maybe we'll just say yes eventually. Like
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, the audacity of these motherfuckers.
Nah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane how they just kind of kept going with it. And like I said, everyone can clearly see it. I mean, even her riding right here on screen, her riding on the like the horse-like creature and things of that nature. Like I said, some of the stuff is like clearly different because it's a more crafting type game,
hmm
but they clearly just 100% ripped into it and just went for it. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and I totally understand Sony wanting to sue them because, I mean, if this game comes out, people are gonna think, oh, this is Horizon, and it's gonna
exactly.
be probably gonna
That's
be terrible.
literally Sony comment about why they're doing them. It's literally
Yeah,
stealing money
I
from
mean,
them. Yeah,
this is like people are. I see the Nintendo drones coming out in droves. Like, oh yeah, oh now suddenly it's okay for companies to sue. No, motherfucker. This is not this is not the same thing as what Nintendo was doing. Nintendo sued Palworld, and yeah, fine. They ripped off some of the Pokemon designs, but that's not what they sued them for. They sued them for gameplay mechanics, and that's fucked up because we shouldn't fucking patent gameplay mechanics. That's the entire problem with this industry. That's the same thing with the Shadow of Mordor Nemesis system. That they patented, and then they're not using it. They want to use it for the Wonder Woman game, and I think that got canceled. So what the fuck? Yeah, why did you patent it for if you're not going to use it? Like nobody can use it now because they patented it, and you have to pay a license or get permission to use it. Like that's fucked up because gameplay mechanics used to be not patentable because yeah, everybody borrows from everything. It's like what people call it's the Dark Souls of blah blah blah. Yeah, of course, because they're copying gameplay mechanics from another game, right? So if that's a worrying trend, them copying gameplay mechanics because that limits creativity, that limits the possibility of people using something great for to make something better. Imagine if somebody ever patented turn-based gameplay mechanics, we'd have never gotten Expedition 33.
yeah,
You
we
know,
would have
Exactly.
never got
crazy.
it. Yeah.
No, I agree. It's a slippery slope. But yeah, this is clearly them just kind of blatantly ripping it off, and uh, it's like almost someone copying your homework. Hey, remember that project you did in fifth grade? Can I just copy that? And
This
then
is
Yeah,
Mr. Bean meme verbatim.
yeah, I mean it's pretty much exact here, but
The fact that they thought they could get away with it. This is why I say, how do these companies even get so big? they make some of the most stupidest mistake in the history of game. I don't know, dude. I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, to be
Every
fair,
single one of
Tencent
them.
just bought into a bunch of companies for a long time, and then now they're kind of trying to push the creative envelope themselves. You know, they're trying to create something themselves, and then
But they should have
clearly
known
couldn't.
who PlayStation is, though.
I mean, they knew. I mean, that like we said, it's in the report that they even asked them to use the Horizon series to build the game, and then just continued to do it anyway. Like they
And
just didn't
when
even care.
PlayStation said no, they went out of their way and yo, that's so wild. That they actually thought they could have get away with it. That, yo, kudos to Tencent.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting to see the development because I mean, obviously, they're a Chinese company and stuff like that. But then there's global intellectual property rules and stuff like that because clearly it'd be a title they want released everywhere and not just in China. So I don't think that's going to help them. So yeah, they're going to have to come to some sort of agreement or
So
something else. So
I have not per se an idea, but like a question. Get this, Tencent, not Tencent, the game, the one Mu Bank or something that Last of Us clone. Do you think it's gonna be sued as well by PlayStation? Cause
no, you can't.
the animation and everything
you
is
can't
literally
copyright.
verbatim.
You can't copyright an animation. Like the movement, like a human movement, you can't copyright that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so no, I don't think that game is in any danger at all. That game has its own unique things going for it. They just were inspired by uh, you know, The Last of Us, but yeah, I mean the game clearly has its own completely different aesthetic, which is, an entirely different game that just shares some stuff like that. But yeah, that'd be like copywriting like a roundhouse kick or something. Like it just yeah. So I don't think they're in any danger of that. Like it's not like they're running around with clickers and
Gotcha.
bloaters and all that other stuff. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Ramon? Man, glad you made it, bro. Um. So yeah, I can't see them running into that same issue. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this develops further as we go along and what happens from there. Like I said,
They
we
absolutely do
haven't seen what
seem to have a
happens.
case about it.
Oh no, I definitely think they have a case. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, when you put some of the creatures side by side, they clearly just try to, change the colors here and there, add some horns here and there, but it's pretty much a straight up rip off. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, we'll jump straight to our next topic here. The Nintendo Direct happened not too long ago here. We all watched it live and got to see quite a few games that Nintendo ended up showing off at their partner showcase, highlighting some older titles that couldn't run on the Switch that are now coming to Switch 2, as well as some of their other partner deals that we did get to thankfully see that some of those games are coming to other platforms. So both PlayStation, PC, and even some on Xbox. So yeah, you definitely don't need a Switch 2 for all these titles. Um, but yeah, I mean, everybody kind of saw it. We seen what they had avail. I think a lot of people had really measured expectations of the show, which I thought was pretty funny. People really expected them to show nothing, and I was one of those people. I really didn't expect to see anything I really cared for at this event, and I was definitely proven wrong. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it.
You didn't believe the rumor
The
that I
rumor of
shared
what
with you
you
of a
shared that
new.
rumor like 30 minutes before it happened, and I didn't care.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
didn't care.
so
You
yeah,
thought bullshit or what?
yeah, but it's not their game; it's Square's game. So it's like I didn't really, whether they reveal it there or not, like it wasn't for them anyway. Like it was on PlayStation, it's on PC, it's whatever. So,
I mean,
um, yeah, I mean,
they do seem to care because they
yeah, I
got
don't, I
the
don't, I don't think it was a
demo.
rumor. Yeah, I don't think it was a rumor though. No, they got the demo for the other game, not
Yeah, no, not
yeah, not
Octopath,
not
whatever.
Octopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Weeb, what were some of your favorite games from the show, and then what would you score it?
Oh, damn, fucking scoring shit.
I mean, you don't have
Um,
to. You don't have to score if you don't want to, but if you have a
yeah.
score in mind, because I really
uh,
don't. Like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, you could just say like I felt kind of like, you know, like.
it was kind of until the end, like when they revealed Elliot and Octopath Zero. I mean that was sort of the highlight of the show. Like before that was like, yeah. I mean I got to laugh out loud when they revealed Star Wars Outlaws for Switch. Like, oh man, that's gonna run like fucking, I don't know, like let's go like peanut butter something. Because I mean that game already barely ran on consoles properly, or on PS5 properly, and okay, yeah, good luck playing that on Switch too. But yeah, I mean I do like yeah, the Adventure of Elliot was definitely a highlight for me, and yeah, Octopath Travel Zero. Those two were basically what saved the show, and beyond that, it was pretty meh.
Okay, no, that is fair. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm close to that. There was a little bit more for me there, but yeah, I'll definitely talk about it here in a second. Omar, what were the highlights for you in the show? And if you have a score,
So,
let us know.
so they started off strong, eh? Even though I never played it yet. Monster Hunter 3, Monster Hunter Story 3. They didn't show any gameplay, just that it exists. I'm like, cool, congratulations, that's a good get. And afterwards, it went downhill. Um, Hyrule Warriors, I like that concept. Like, I'm a fan of the Dynasty Warrior concept. Um, so that does look interesting. Besides that, it was all of it either games that are already available somewhere else or games that I have no interest in. Up until the ending, where they actually showed what you call it, Elliot and a new Octopath, which I know this is a Nintendo conversation. I'm actually gonna give Square some props. They did what we asked from them to do, which is invest in the Octopath IP. And they seem to understand that they have something on their hand with the Octopath IP. And I'm so happy that they found a way to create another Octopath. And now with added ability to, um, what do you call that? Build your stuff. So it have building element into it as well. But other than that, it was a terrible job. Like, I would give it 3 max. And I'm being super generous, mostly because of Octopath and Elliot and Monster Hunter Story. Like, I don't know, dude.
Okay, so you really just don't like the fact that a lot of it was games that we already either have access
Yeah,
to or
I
were already
understand.
revealed.
Like, Nintendo have a lot of catch up to do when it comes to not third party, to multiplayer stuff. I'm
Yeah.
fully aware of that, but put it in a highlight reel. But I understand it's partnership and stuff like that. Not gonna lie, the highlight reel had a few games that I was interested in. Some Metrovania, some action game. Like the highlight reel was more interesting than most of the show. That's how it felt for me, at least.
Okay,
But yeah, 3, and I'm being generous.
that is fair.
Basically, multiplat, what you call it? Multiplat the showcase. You know how they do it with PlayStation when PlayStation. Uh, but the thing is, with PlayStation, at least they reveal new stuff, even if it's multiplat. With them, it's just old stuff that only now they have access to. And the crazy part, you can already play some on other devices already. So yeah, all by all, Nintendo. I understand it, but disappointing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as for me, the show's probably like a 5 or 6. Mainly just because of the highlights. Um, I mean, I felt like the show had good pacing. The show in general was just, it was solid. I mean, I wasn't like blown away by anything in particular, but it was nice to see Monster Hunter Stories 3 revealed. I do not care for the Hyrule Warriors series at all. As someone who grew up as a Dynasty Warriors fan, I'm not really much of a Zelda fan, so doing the whole Mario, Zelda, Nintendo IP in another thing, skin on it thing doesn't really do anything for me. Um, but I know a lot of people do like the Hyrule Warriors series, so I'm sure it'll do fine. Hopefully, the performance is decent because that was a really big issue with Hyrule Warriors on the original Switch. Was it just ran like trash with all the move sets and everything going off. So hopefully they can maintain a decent frame rate for people who do really like that. Um, Obviously, you had a couple other things. I was surprised by the Plants vs Zombies Replanted. Um, that was just out of nowhere. But it was still cool. I mean, I'm a big fan of that series. I like the original Plants vs Zombies. So bring it back with a couple additions and whatnot. I think quite a few people will end up picking that up if the price is right. So if EA's smart, they will price that accordingly. Um, and then, like you said, most of the other stuff was just catch up. So, I don't really give them any credit for that. Final Fantasy Tactics, Persona 3 Reload, Apex Legends, Star Wars Outlaws, EA Sports FC 26, Pac Man World Repack 2, Chronos, which, again, God, please play that on anything besides the Switch. Like, that game. That game deserves to be played on something besides the Switch.
The best thing we got out of Chronos is the release date.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So, the
Thank you, Nintendo.
yeah, I mean, I appreciated that. It was actually kind of funny. The game, like, it looks like the version they showed was so confusing that when I showed Priscilla the trailer, she wasn't even sure that she had seen it before, even though we definitely showed it to her multiple times. So yeah, some of the texture work and stuff like that. So just do yourself a favor if you have another platform and you're gonna play Chronos, just play it on something else. Like unless you absolutely have to play it on a Switch too. Um, and of course they had Yakuza Kiwami 2 and Kiwami like double pack. Again, those games won't really struggle. If you want just a portable version of Yakuza's early games on the Switch 2, then yeah, sure. Uh, Again, nothing crazy. We already kind of knew about those. No one cares about Just Dance 2026. Let's be real. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, again, another game. If you could play it somewhere else, chances are you're already playing it. So I don't know why you would even bother, playing it on there, especially with that. Um, then Madden NFL, which again they had to reveal that because standard or typically, they haven't been able to get the Madden series on the Switch as well. One of the things that was actually kind of a surprise, kind of reminded me, I don't know, man, it just looks like a little fun arcade shooter, and I guess it just brings me back to like NBA Jam. But you had NBA Bounce, which just it looked like that it looked like a cozy basketball game. I mean, it seems off, but like honestly, I just kind of want to mess around sometimes and just play something funny, and that's just what that looked like. It just looked like some fun. You could just verse each other and just dunk on each other as mascots in the game. So it just looked silly. So that looked interesting. They also showed another cozy-esque type game, chilling by the fire, trying to utilize some of the Joy-Con features, which they were interesting. Priscilla mentioned she might try it or something. Again, I think price is just really important for a lot of these titles that are not really full-fledged games, and some of these other games that are older titles definitely need to be priced accordingly, coming later, at a much later date. But then, yeah, obviously the big stars in the room, the HD 2D, The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, which is a crazy title. Um, I watched a couple people's reactions, and it was pretty funny the amount of people who were kind of just like us that were like, you know, like ready to smack something because we thought Square Enix played us and wasn't going to show an Octopath, and had nerve to bring another game that looked like Octopath, and then just like we were like it was just hilarious. I know one girl in particular, she
They
had
did
shared her
say two
reaction like
titles,
that.
last two titles. So
Yeah,
they
but like,
did
but
give
people
you-
weren't, but people weren't anticipating to go right into another from Square. Like they thought like, oh, that's it. That was the surprise.
They juked that very well. Yeah, I gotta give them that.
Yeah, like I seen somebody that was just like, oh, like her excitement just gradually went down the more they showed, because she was like, oh, I don't like the combat. Oh my god. Oh yeah, it looks good though. She was just like, it looks good. It looks like a great
Being
game.
political correct, I get it.
Yeah, and I was the same way. I was like, oh, that looks neat, but it's not Octopath, so I don't care. It was like, it looks like Zelda in an Octopath skin, basically. And
Yeah,
then
that's
of course,
basically it. That's how it felt.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, except which again is going to bring more credence to people who think that Zelda is an action RPG, because they labeled this game an action RPG when it's basically Zelda with an Octopath skin. So that's a whole nother story. But then, of course, we got the biggest announcement, the one everybody was waiting for, the one we all loved, Octopath Traveler 0, which looked incredible. I can't wait. They showed all of the previous people in the games, Octopath 1 and 2, lined up. The ending sequence they showed when they closed out the trailer gave in-game vibes where everybody shows up in the final battle. So I don't know what that's all about, but that looked epic. Yeah, that looked insane.
I gotta ask you a question. These characters are from 1 and 2? I didn't pay that much attention.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are
So
from 1 and 2.
Are we getting new people though?
I mean, we don't know yet. I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
But I mean, it looked like more than 1 and 2. So
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a new cast. Plus, for whatever reason, we're gonna interact with the 1 and 2 cast, which I'm excited about because I love those. I talked about those extensively. Me and Morgan were talking about that the other day. How much we want more, Oswald and all these other great characters that we all fell in love with. So I'm all for more and bringing back old characters. So to create an incredible Octopath, as well as getting to create our own character for the first time.
Is that true, Morgan? Did you discuss that?
We did.
Not gonna lie, the biggest shock was when it's coming out. It's literally around the corner.
Yeah, end of the
Like
year.
they're not playing.
Yeah, end of the year. That was definitely one of the bigger things for me, was just realizing it's coming out this year. So I was excited about it. But yeah, like I said, overall, like a 5 or 6 for the show. Like I said, I felt like it was a solid show. It just wasn't anything crazy. I feel like it would be bigger if for people who enjoyed what I enjoyed, plus they were excited about Hyrule and some of these other titles. But yeah, again, that doesn't really do it for me. Like, I don't do the whole, like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people like, oh my God, like Nintendo is cranking it up to 11. They got Persona 3 Reload. And I was like, so? Like, it doesn't.
This is what I say. They literally got playing catch up. But because it's Nintendo, they're gonna, pretend that it's the best thing ever since sliced of bread.
Omar, don't mention ketchup. Again.
Oh man, not the ketchup.
Yeah, you're trying.
I said catch up.
Yeah.
You're traumatized. I even invited you to eat a pizza and you rejected it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Runaway weeb at max speed.
Yeah,
At the restaurant.
I got you.
Restaurant nonetheless.
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't understand the joke, there's an inside joke about how Omar eats his pizza, and we have explained to Omar several times that if he ever tried to make a pizza like that in Italy, they would arrest him and either extradite him to the nearest country immediately or put him under the jail for the travesty that he committed on that pizza.
No. They'll put him in the Hague for war crimes.
But yeah, nah, I want to leave y'all out on that one because that's a hilarious one. But yeah, Omar likes to put corn on his pizza and also use ketchup, so it's a whole thing. I'm not going to explain it in detail because it's terrible and I don't want to subject y'all to that. But y'all get the point. But I don't know if Morgan can talk yet. If she can, Morgan, would you like to tell us what you thought of the Nintendo Direct, ma'am, and how you felt?
Yeah, I didn't watch it because honestly, I didn't really care. At least when it comes to like third party stuff on Switch, like I don't care because
Yeah,
it's usually just games that we've already gotten that are just coming to the Switch, right? Um, but I'm gonna give this show like a 15 out of 10 though, just because of Octopath.
that's fair.
That's
That's
all.
fair.
That's the only thing I needed to hear. Like it's the only thing
And the
that I
fact
will ever
that you
care
don't
about
have
in
to
my life.
wait, that it's coming straight to PS5.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was talking to Nate about it yesterday. I think that this is a part of Square's multi-plat strategy because Octopath is usually reserved for being exclusive to like one platform first before it before it releases multi-plat. But this one, it released obviously on everything. So yeah, it's I couldn't be happier because at first, I was thinking, okay, is this like a mobile game? Because it's just so soon after
Yeah,
Octopath
it
Traveler
is.
2. So I was like, is this some kind of like short mobile version that they're just kind of porting to consoles? But it's like no, they said built for the ground up, going full fledged Octopath. And for those who don't know, Octopath Traveler 2 was my game of the year for 2023. Absolutely loved the game, platted it. It was a hard plat, but it was probably one of my
It is a tough
favorite
ass plat.
plats.
I ain't even gonna let
Yeah,
you downplay that one, man, because I ain't get it. That shit is hard.
yeah, it was hard. It was hard as hell, but it like getting it it just felt so right because the game I just love that game so fucking much. And if you have not played Octopath Traveler 2, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Amazing game. It's not needed to play Octopath Traveler 0, so you don't have to worry about, oh, do I need to play it before you don't. But I still recommend because it's a fantastic game. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, Octopath Traveler 0, it looks great. So happy because I've been worried about the fact that we might not get another Octopath Traveler just simply because I think Square Enix like sold the studio or they did something.
Yeah.
This
So
the
so
studio that originally created it.
the main studio that assists and creates the title, the outside of Square, was bought by another company.
Yeah. So I was worried. I was like, oh my God, we might not get another Octopath. And I was just so distraught. But seeing this, yeah, brought all it just took all the stress away. I was so happy. And the mere fact that we're getting it this year, I couldn't be more excited. Like December is gonna be my Christmas game, so I'm happy. And it looks like it's introducing some new elements, like you said. You get to create a character, which is something definitely different. We've always with the Octopath Traveler games, you always just play one of the characters that are in the many characters that are in the game already, which I never had a problem with because the characters, at least in Octopath Traveler 2, were fantastic. I don't think there was any character out of the 8 characters in the game that I felt were bad or poorly written. Like they were all great. I had my favorites, but none of them were just, bad. Um, but now we'll get to create our own, so that's going to add a pretty new element to Octopath Traveler. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. And it looks like we're also gonna have like a base building thing, like we're rebuilding our hometown or something.
Yeah, that
So
looks
yeah,
really good.
some pretty new elements to Octopath Traveler. So I can't wait to see how they incorporate that and how it, you know, folds into the story and the characters. And like you said, the characters that are returning in this one are apparently the characters from Octopath Traveler 1 and Octopath the what was it, the Champions of the Continent. game. So it's not going to be the ones from 2, unfortunately, but it's okay because at least this way it'll be fresh for me because I haven't played Octopath Traveler 1. So these will be new characters for me, and apparently they're going to get kind of new background stories. So
This should
yeah,
be interesting.
I am. Yeah, I'm ecstatic about this. That is going to be my game for December. Yeah, nobody can talk to me when the game comes out. I plan on
Don't
just
text me, don't call me, don't anything
yeah,
me. I know.
I plan on just just going for this game and just throwing my head into it and just diving deep into Octopath. I can't wait. But yeah, simply off of that game, the Nintendo Direct was the best one this year so far. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
When we were watching it, I just needed to hear your reaction because we watched it live, and sadly you were not available, and I knew you're
Yeah.
gonna scream about it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, screw you for not calling me and telling me, but that's fine.
You were asleep,
So
yeah. We
sleep
tagged
isn't
you, we did
no, not
everything.
Octopath is more important than sleep. The
Yes,
fuck?
yes, exactly.
Okay, but you could have called me as soon as it showed up, though. You just rude, just rude. And you didn't text me or call me about the Nordic uh showcase either that y'all watched. Like you just been watching
He had no
showcases
idea about that.
without
I
me.
had to remind him.
Okay, and that's fine. But he went in there and he still didn't text me or call me. So
Oh man.
y'all just been enjoying showcases without me. That's why he quiet because he knows he's wrong.
Yeah.
It's cool. Okay, here you go. Okay, so I'm an indie gamer, and you didn't think
Nah,
that
that was
text
wrong. That
indie
was the wrong
showcase
move. Because this is
was
HD Nordic we're talking
Mhm.
about. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, you see, no, 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 you don't know nothing. It's cool. It's fine. Let's move on.
Before you do so, I'm curious what Morgan is playing. Because you mentioned some indie or something.
Oh, yeah, I finished Death Stranding 2. Amazing ass ending. Thank you. Epic ending. Very Kojima was definitely Kojima all over the place. Loved it.
I mean, it's a Kojima game, so
Yeah, I loved it. It was fantastic. Like I recorded so much I think in the last like couple hours. just just from everything. Troy's performance as Higgs is he took it to the next level.
Yeah, he did.
With the ending, I think he did an amazing job. Yeah, everybody's performance was good. Had me crying a little bit for some things. I'm not gonna spoil anything or anything, but I was just definitely like, no. But it is what it is. I love the send off of it. I love the ending of it. It definitely seems like there could be another Death Stranding, but I mean, it also seems like it's the perfect way to end it if he
yeah,
wanted to.
it could be
Like
either way, yeah?
yeah, like and I'd be fine if he was done with it. I think he told a very good story with these games.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
yeah, uh, fantastic. Loved it. Give it a strong 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed that game. Um, but yeah, after I finished that, I went to play Jusant. Played it and I beat it, platinumed it. Really good indie game. Uh,
Congrats once again. Look
thank
at
you.
you, platinum girl.
Um, yeah. Uh, that was yeah, I enjoy that. It reminds me a lot of the Karen game that's coming out. Because it's also it was also a climbing game. Where you have to use the L2 and R2 buttons to maneuver up and climb. But it was really short. I think it was only like 4 or 5 hours for me to beat.
Oh wow.
But it was good.
Okay.
It's one of those indie
Is
games
that
that
the
it's
one
like
with the robot?
the robot. No.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one of those indie games with like, it was no really no voice work. It was more of telling a story through like the notes that you pick up. Um, but the story was pretty good. It was pretty good. I was entertained by the letters I was finding. But yeah, if you were just like playing the game and probably not reading the notes, it was probably not as much, excuse me, as much fun for you. But the climbing mechanics were actually fun. It was different traversals and stuff like that, mechanics that you had to get over, and it wasn't just straight climbing. There was a lot of different obstacles and stuff that you had to kind of maneuver around and figure out how to get to from one spot to the other. So it was a nice little challenge to it, but not not crazy hard, but it wasn't just easy, right? But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. I always love like playing like a small indie right after I finish like a big open world game. Kind of like give me like a break after doing so much with Death Stranding 2.
That palate cleanser.
And right now I'm just I went back to The Witcher 3 because I love The Witcher 3. So I'm just going back to The Witcher 3 right now. I'm playing that until probably the Mafia game comes out, because I think that comes out like August 10th, I believe.
Oh damn! Does it come out that
So
soon? Oof.
yeah, it might come out sooner than that.
August snuck up on
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of playing that until Mafia comes in. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty much what I've been doing.
That'll definitely last you, because I swear every time somebody brings up Witcher 3 though, it's always like a sore spot for me now, because like the PS3 the PlayStation Trophy site or whatever, the side one, the one that's like not official, they're like mad at me because like they don't know how to adjust their settings when a game has like cross saves and stuff. So it has me set as like having an illegal trophy on The Witcher 3, because eventually, CD Projekt Red went back and added like cross saves between their version of cross saves, like where you could just go between PC, PlayStation, whatever, right? So I was playing it back and forth between PC and the PS5 version, and when I transferred my save back to PlayStation, I was near the end of one of my playthroughs, and that was when I completed it on Death March. But it looks like I didn't play the rest of like other parts of the game that you would have gotten before Death March, because I was playing it on PC, and they don't, the unlocks are not retroactive. So it currently is like freaking out until I like get the rest of the trophies. But yeah, that's like a weird.
What
I'm
is that
honestly more
one?
surprised that you're playing it on a hard difficulty. That's not usually what you do.
No, I definitely do not typically, and I only did this after I got like a very specific build really, really right. That's like super strong. Like, I mean, it's one of the things where I have to explain to people, because if anybody has
You
heard,
got all your mutagens and stuff.
yeah, all your mutagens and stuff, like a lot of people complain, because I heard someone in another group chat I'm in was recently playing and complaining about how they didn't really like the combat, and I had to explain to them something that people don't really notice.
Oh yeah.
Is that the combat changes very subtly as he gets more proficient with the different skills. So like I was explaining to him like how like it seems real crazy at first, the way he's spinning around and stuff like that. Like it's such a weird thing for people. And I'm like, yeah, you say that until like a bunch of drowners come up out the water and they surround you and you need to fight on all sides. And I'm like, it's a really specific thing.
See, dude's only like one type of gameplay style, I swear, man. And it's just like the movement is accurate to how witchers are supposed to move. They're supposed to be moving like almost like dancers, like they do plies and shit like that, parries, and like they're very quick and light on their feet. They're supposed to be, because they have to take on a lot at one time. So the movement is accurate. It's just like I said, people just complain because if it's not like a straight up button mash, then they don't like it.
Exactly.
Oh, it's hard. I'm like, well, no,
Also,
you
another
gotta
thing.
get proficient at it. That's all.
Yeah, you
Also, another
definitely
thing
do.
about that Witcher, most of them, including me, because I was new to it, don't play with potions. Like how you need to use certain potions on certain enemies to what you call it, strangle your weapon.
Yeah, I mean
That's
all
pretty
that's
much the basics of the game. Why are you not playing a
Well,
potion?
it's such a basic for most people that I've never played a Witcher game before. They don't use potions. I never used potions. I just hacked my way through the game
oh yeah.
until
Yeah,
the
then
weapon.
you're playing it wrong.
Yeah.
Again, when you
I'm
never
gonna say,
played,
first of all, I use the bestiary like a Bible. Okay, I sit there and like, okay, I'm about to fight a ghoul. Okay, let me see, let me get. Okay, I need my ghoul, my ghoul potion, my ghoul oil. Okay, I need this type of specific bomb because it's the only one that works on them. I study before I go into a battle, and I make sure
no,
I
I
put the
just
right
hacked them.
oils in my
I just
weapon.
hacked them with my weapons. That's it. I used some magic
Nah,
and called it a day.
Yeah.
I gotta check my bestiary. I
Yeah.
just can't go into a fight just logging it.
No, I
Nah.
Yeah,
did
I was
it.
gonna say
Like
you're
I
gonna do it.
used.
You're gonna do it the hard way, like on the hardest difficulty. That
Yeah, I know.
you
I know.
can't
Yeah, the
play
hardest
that.
You
Like
difficulty
absolutely can. I'm
you have,
fully aware of that.
yeah. The
yeah,
hardest difficulty you have to play that way. You have to
Yeah.
use all your advantages. You can't just hack your way through it.
yeah. I remember explaining to people when I finally beat The Witcher because I kept getting into it and stopping, getting into it and stopping, and I've had to explain this to a couple people. I was like, The Witcher 3 is not something you get into and just play around with some other games every now and then. I was like, you
Yeah,
need
you
to
can't.
live in the
No,
world.
that's a
You need to
work. That's
be
Yeah,
the
literally a
Witcher.
job.
like I said, because I realized my last save on it was in like around Christmas of last year. So when I was playing, I was like, damn, like what? It's like dipping your feet back into The Witcher is a whole thing because I was like,
Yeah,
damn,
it
I can't
is.
remember how to play shit. And I was just going through, damn, I almost hacked fucking Roach because I couldn't remember how to mount the horse, and I hit, triangle, thinking, okay, that's mount, right? No, it's get your sword out, and Roach, nade at me and ran away, and I was like, oh fuck, my bad. But it's like you have to, especially with how complicated and how intricate the combat is and how much goes into it, like when like you said, when they added the mutagens and the decoctions and anything like that, like it's just
Hmm.
so much that goes into the game that if you stop for a while, you're really gonna forget.
Yeah, you definitely do. Like I remember being so hyped when I played so much that like I knew the potion combination for like certain enemies without even having to check the bestiary. Like I would just run
Mhm.
up and be like, "Oh, I'm about to fight this. Run this. I need some whatever berries and mix this and then slap it on the sword. I'm gonna like I had like gear on me for everything. It was just like I said when it clicks, it's immaculate. You can always tell when it clicks
Yeah,
because then people just they can't pull themselves away from the game, and it's
So
incredible.
you never
I
played
can.
1 and 2 before?
One is terrible, for the record,
Oh,
and I've beaten two 11 times. So yes, I played two.
yeah. Damn, 11, dude.
Yeah, is that
Yeah, we're gonna
serious?
see what it does. They're remaking one, so hopefully they'll update the combat to what three was at least. So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
I think
hopefully.
I think you're gonna be in for a treat because I mean I know somebody who said they were playing it now. Honestly, I've explained this story before, but like one was so bad that it was around the time when I built my first gaming PC, my first personal. I gamed on PC before then, but I didn't build them for me. And when I built my first one, Witcher was one of the first games that I bought besides Mass Effect. And I was so mad that it was so bad that I pirated the second game out of revenge because I
Not out of
felt
revenge.
yeah,
Oh.
because I felt like they owed me a game that didn't suck because I hated one that much. Like
Yeah.
Okay, this is funny. How
yeah,
old were you when you built your first PC? That's crazy.
yeah, I'd have to look back. It's on my Facebook somewhere, but
Yeah, I'm
uh,
ready to try it out, but yeah, I'm waiting for the remake.
yeah,
I'm not going back to the original one.
and
But
and
Yeah,
I think it's gonna
especially
be
with
great.
Witcher, its story is so connected that if you start with 3, you would be lost. At least I was. I was so lost with the story, even
Well, I mean,
without explaining.
I don't. That's the part of the thing I hate though, and I've explained this with Morgan when we've talked about The Witcher and we watched The Witcher show and so on and so forth. That I hated the fact that a lot of people were like, claiming Team Yennefer who hadn't, they didn't know Triss at all. So I was like, well, you guys don't even know her. So, Yennefer is way more involved in 3. And 2 is a lot about Triss and
Honestly,
all the
I
things
don't
they
think
go through.
I don't think the games do a good representation of Triss anyway. Like, she's annoying in the game,
Yeah.
but she's not that annoying in the book. So it's just like I just don't think the games do her justice like that. But yeah,
See
she
you
whines
see
a lot
you
in
getting
3.
the whole other side of Triss now. See, you got the books too, so
Yeah, like I like her in the
Damn,
book.
you're reading the book? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yes,
but
yes, you can read though.
No. What I
but
mean by that, because that add additional information and additional, you
yeah,
know.
I mean the games aren't really one to one for the books like at all. Like they're kind of just taking the lore and kind of doing their own thing with it. Like
yeah, I do
funny
remember
enough, like
that.
the Netflix show is a lot more accurate to the books than the game is. But that's why I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do with 4. Because there's so much lore when it, especially like when it comes to Siri. Like
Hmm.
I wonder exactly how they're gonna take it, just because the way Siri is like hunted down essentially so much. I wonder how she like is like she's still being hunted as she's older now, because she's still technically, she's still royalty, you know, she's still like the heir to the throne. So it's like, is she at peace with that, or do people still try to come for her? Like there's just so many questions I have, and I wonder how they're going to tackle it in the 4th game. But yeah, I can't wait for the fucking Witcher 4, man. It just looks so fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why it's so important for them to do the remake for 1, especially for them. When I watched the studio, if you guys haven't watched it, um, I'll try to link it. I can't remember where I watched. It's on YouTube, but there was like the history of CD Projekt Red or something, where they go over like everything that they did before they even made The Witcher and why The
Yeah,
Witcher One
they
is so
were like
rough.
yeah, they were like a support studio essentially before they became like making their own games. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, and
yeah,
so The Witcher was the biggest hit then, or
Well,
it was
Witcher
like their
1?
first game.
it's like their first real game that
Yeah.
really took off, and like they did some other stuff before then, but they were like really small. Like they were like local hits, you know what I mean? Like to the point where they made like copies of CDs and like sold them at the local store, and like
Yeah, they were literally just a dish like like they were just a studio for their city. Like they weren't outside of international like they are now. They were just like the local gaming company essentially. And then they
mhm.
started making the big international worldwide hits like The Witcher.
Yeah, the growth of that company is just it's literally the garage story. Me and my
Hmm.
homies were in the garage and we like to make games, and then we were copying games and trying to sell them locally, and then boom, we hit it. And it's like they just
Yeah.
took off from there. And like it's dope to see them go back to their original work and really do The Witcher 1 justice, because like they talk about the importance of that and a lot of the story and things like that kind of got lost because they don't really expect anyone to go back and play that, right? Like they know how bad it is. So I'm really interested to see that lineup along with 4, like you said, which I know is going to be incredible. Just from the little bit we've seen, and like I said, series story is so incredibly interesting to me.
Fury is a fucking badass character, man. Like I don't think a lot of people, at least the people who like to talk shit that are upset about this. I was like, I don't think y'all understand how cool of a character Siri is. It's like even with the preview that we saw, like we didn't even really get to see what she can do, because
Oh
Siri's
yeah, she
got,
didn't even get
and
started.
now that
Is she
she's
not
older, like
more?
when she was young, she had her powers, but she wasn't even using like like an eighth of her abilities. Like she was just getting used to her abilities. So I wouldn't be surprised if she has like new abilities now,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
she's gonna be stronger now that she's a a matured Witcher. Like I can't wait, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Is he not more powerful than Geralt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she will be essentially the most powerful Witcher to ever exist,
Yeah.
at least currently, in the way that she is. Like she would, like, to put it in the perspective for people who are like into comics and stuff, she would be like a celestial class mutant, is just beyond strong. Like it's explained. What were you saying?
That's why she was being hunted, like at least in the game. Like she has the ability to go between worlds. Like that's why the hunt was chasing her, because they
Hmm.
want to use her ability. Like
Exactly.
that's why even in if you played Cyberpunk, and even in like the little side notes, but you have to pay attention, like they were talking about a girl who was able that came from a different land, who was able to jump to theirs. They were talking about Siri. Like apparently she went to Night City because she has the ability to jump between universes. Like that's how powerful she is. So I'm like, y'all sleeping on Siri, bro. Y'all upset, but listen, I'm ready to see what she can do. Like it's gonna be insane.
Nah, I agree. It really just opens up the possibilities for 4 in a way that no other Witcher could. Like, she is the
Yep.
optimal choice for just doing, honestly, from a creative standpoint, anything you really want. Like, she's that strong. She's
Mhm.
essentially the Jean Grey, the phoenix of
Yeah.
that land. Um, but yeah, anybody who watched X-Men growing up, like most of y'all who tuned into the show, y'all know how eventually Jean Grey turned into the Phoenix and left everybody and turned into like the celestial class ridiculous badass. That is essentially
Not that.
Siri. But but yeah, like you said, enough sidetracking
Sorry,
on
we
The
went on a
Witcher.
Witcher tangent.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
apologize.
The Witcher is that amazing. And if you haven't played it, you should fix that. And it's incredible. So hopefully when they do bring back 1, they do like a 2-pack or something, and also include 2, so people could really
Yeah, like
really get the full
remastered or something.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the three. Do you think Witcher 2 holds up?
Yeah, I think Witcher 2 is fine. So I think
Yeah.
a little. That's why I said a little, shine on it. A little, like you said, a little update, and I think it'll be perfectly fine. Um, yeah. So yeah, Witcher 2 definitely holds up. It'll be fine. But yeah, moving on to the THQ Nordic showcase. I went on ahead and pulled it up on screen here. The announcements that happened at THQ Nordic show. Like I said, it was shown just a couple days ago here. Just do the rundown real quick. Like I said, Morgan didn't get a chance to see it, but
I did see it, actually.
they
Just not
huh?
with you guys.
Oh, you
I
did
said I
watch it?
did see it actually.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. I have the ability to watch things for myself.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, but they announced the SpongeBob Titans of the Tide, which
Man, give me the ear.
yeah, which Omar was screaming for Morgan for this one because he was like, everybody knows how much Morgan loves SpongeBob SquarePants.
They used to play the SpongeBob games. Like, yeah, I did
Yeah.
a lot. It looked pretty good though.
No, it did
It
actually
came with
look
a
pretty
steelbook,
good.
so I was like,
Not a
I
steelbook
have to pick
though.
that up.
I completely missed that.
So I was
Yeah.
watching that game and I'm like, this look good. This looking really good. For a SpongeBob game?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Can't
I'm
go wrong
playing
with
that
David
game.
Hasselhoff singing the entire time.
Right. But yeah, they also showed a couple other things. They have recreation, a honestly kind of looks like their take on like a Burnout wannabe game, which I guess there's space for that at this point, because EA for whatever reason keeps stopping Criterion and them from making one. So hopefully recreation turns out to be really fun. It looks pretty cool. Then they showed their Tides of Tomorrow game, which is some sort of weird multiplayer PvP game, which I have zero interest in. Wreckfest 2, which anybody who's seen Wreckfest is literally just like Destruction Derby. So you kind of know what you're getting into, but just on the next level. You can see here they got kind of like the loop-de-loops and crazy stuff. Like it's really just like a sandbox of craziness and wrecking your car. This was a surprise for me, Sacred 2 remaster, because I heavily played Sacred 2 back in the day. This game actually more so to me, I think they would have done better to make a remake, because this game is pretty rough. But I really enjoyed this game back in the day. But as you can still see just in the screenshots here of the remaster that it still doesn't look all that crazy. And then they showed the eternal life of Goldman, which is one that I thought Morgan would find interesting. This hand-drawn, crazy-looking art style they had going.
That was one I did find interesting. Yeah, the art style looks really nice. It reminds me of like a children's book a little bit.
Yeah.
Looks really good. It's a platformer though, so I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, I knew what
the gameplay's kind of like the gameplay sounds more of Omar's jam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
but we tried it last year. This one is rough in terms of it's difficult.
I mean, it looked that way, which is why I was like, eh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a demo though. That you just had to restart all over again every single time.
Yeah, so there is lack of checkpoints. So I'm not sure if they tackled that or not. But if there is no checkpoint, the way it was during the demo, it's gonna be a difficult game to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Then, of course, another anticipated title from quite a few people. They showed Titan Quest 2, which is now out in early access. This game actually looked really good. I know the original Titan Quest did really good numbers. You can see some of the screenshots here. I mean, it looks really, really good. So something I'm excited to try at some point. Looks like you can do like some building in the city as well. So just honestly, I'm looking forward to that. Then you have the Guild, the Europa 1410. This is more of a PC title. If people have seen that, just something that's honestly been popular on PC for a long time. That has to do with building your town and your structures and things of that nature, and then just kind of building up a world in this this specific town. Then they showed the Gothic remake trailer. That looked actually pretty solid. I was actually surprised to see that. I didn't think Gothic as a remake was going to be coming back anytime soon, so that was kind of a surprise. That looked really good though. A third-person, almost Skyrim-looking, take on things. Then of course they showed a little more of Reanimal, which I mean, pretty much you've seen it by now at a couple shows. So everybody kind of knows what that is. It kind of has a take of like their Little Nightmares game. Then they also showed Fate Keeper, which turns out to be, this was the thing that people thought was tied to Kingdoms of Amalur, but they're actually making a game called Fate Keeper, which kind of has like a Skyrim, Oblivion-esque thing going on for them. So it's interesting to see somebody else take a shot at this, just because you would think as successful as Skyrim was that we would have had the era of Skyrim clones, but I think everybody respectfully understood the level of depth and commitment it takes to create a game on the scale of Skyrim.
Well, that and the fact that they released Skyrim and everything in a toaster, right? So
yeah, they definitely did. But yeah, the game looks good. Like I said, in the early shots we got of it here. And then of course the big elephant in the room, the thing everybody was anticipating, DarkSiders 4 teaser.
Yeah. Nate, I'll take it from here.
Hey, you or me? Excuse you.
Yeah. I mean, come on. DarkSiders is back, baby. Come on. Like
Beyond
and
that,
and, and everybody was like, oh no no nah nah, we're not gonna get a DarkSiders, just Kingdoms of Amalur. Like nah. We kept the faith, right, Omar? We kept the faith. We knew DarkSiders was coming,
not
and
gonna lie,
lo
they
and
were
behold,
playing with my emotions. I'm not even gonna front about that. The way they teased it beforehand, and you kept seeing the horses, and you're like, are they really, are they gonna go with it? And then in the end, boom. And
oh,
I
I
love.
I I knew from the first second this was DarkSiders.
I mean, yeah. So the thing about Downsider, the second they showed us war armor, I knew it. It's literally like I didn't scream it, but it was obvious. However, they played me a little bit when they showed war only, and I'm like, are you doing a remake? And then we see, but this time he is not
Yeah.
alone.
So you wavered a bit, Omar. That's what you're saying. Your faith wavered. Okay.
It's
I'm
not
sorry,
only I
Omar.
wavered,
Um,
it's a lot of remake happening. So who knew? But
I mean,
yeah,
I mean,
no,
I mean, they already remastered it, so I'm not seeing them like people would fucking riot on the streets if they, instead of giving them Darksiders 4, they would just remake the first one. Like, come on, man, we've been waiting for ages to finally
yeah,
get
we literally,
every single game, because they were like, oh yeah, the Four Horsemen. So we're gonna make a game for every horseman, and every game is basically running in parallel with the first game. So they're all ending at the same point. Okay,
yeah,
fine. Now give us a conclusion, because you
yeah, this
left
is
us
what we
with a
wanted.
cliffhanger for a decade or
How
more.
how many times have we seen the ending of literally the beginning of the first game? Like every single game it gets connected to the ending, and you're like, okay, now we're gonna get some answer. We get some stuff, but still we don't know why he is captured and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm genuinely curious, are they gonna finally finish the franchise now with this one? But uh, rumor have it that you can select your own rider, so I'm curious how that's going to be. If you can switch on the fly, or there is a hub area where you can switch between riders. But yeah, no, bring it. They didn't show a single thing or any they just showed a teaser, not an actual trailer, so we know nothing. So I'm curious, how far is it? 2027, 2028, maybe 2029? Nobody knows. But besides
Uh,
that,
it
Darksiders is back,
it'll come. It'll
baby.
come. Exactly. It doesn't matter. We're gonna finally get that conclusion. We're gonna play with all the horsemen. Yeah, I mean, this is like it started out as sort of like a, oh yeah, like it basically was like Zelda, but then with more mature storytelling and combat and characters, and like it was always this sort of niche game that had it had its fan base, but never like, oh yeah, this is like the massive juggernaut that like the big AAA titles encompass. And but because we were waiting so fucking long for this, and we at some point had like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Studio closed. Everything bought by Embracer. Like, yeah, we probably have to settle for the fact that we're never gonna get the conclusion. And
Yeah,
now we're gonna
multiple,
get it.
especially the way they went with the last game, which was top down instead, normal third person.
Which yeah, I got you. Like, I understand that like it was disappointing not having
An
it seems
actual
like the
game
top.
with Stripe, I
Still,
get it, yeah.
still, it was a pretty good game, and had like an amazing, like the soundtrack of Darkseid is amazing. Like they had like the thing with DarkSiders, they always have like one song that's like, dude, what the fuck? Like this is so amazing. Like you're like, why is this like they had that with the Guardian and two like the first major boss you had, and it's like had this epic song. Like this is like the first boss. Like why does this sound like the final boss? You know? And they had the same with the I forgot, is it Origins or whatever, the one where you play Strife. Like when you fight Astarte, like the angel, like that song I played like was so fucking epic. Like I was like, oh no, I don't even want to finish this
If
boss
you had
fight.
to choose, which Darksider is your favorite? I
As
know
in the
mine.
game or the Horseman, what?
Well, you can choose both. Which is your favorite Earthman? Which is your favorite Darksider?
Um, I think I still like the first game the best, because the second one went sort of with open world, but it was kind of maybe a bit too much. You know, that like I liked it when it was sort of this linear. Basically, it was like a very solid Zelda clone, and now it's like, okay, we're gonna go like open world action RPG, which is sort of seen that, done that. And I mean, like three was fine, but also definitely clearly made on the budget. Like it had lots of bugs, and yeah, the one with Strife was, as you said, sort of breaking a bit of the mall was more like a side story. It felt like. So I think one is still the best one.
Okay, so
And
for me, my favorite rider, Death. I love him. Double size, enough said. And my favorite game too. Death, double size, enough said. I just love how they found a way to make the combat even better than the first one. The third one, what's her name? Her whip is clunky, so it's difficult to do good combat with her. The best I thought combo wise is Death. I truly believe Death have some of the best gameplay. Uh, as for the story, they all are interesting. They all connected. They all there have their own quirks, their own enemies to fight, the bosses to beat. Yeah, no. If you never played Darksiders, play Darksiders like last night already.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they remastered first two, so it's pretty much yeah, up to
I think
snuff.
they gave it free on PSN as well. So if you're collecting
Yeah,
them, you should
yeah,
have it.
it probably was free on and everything. I think probably Epic Store as well at some point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean,
So
there's absolutely like I think like Darkside is probably what sort of got me into plat hunting, because that was I think maybe not the first plat, but like the first one where I like went out of my way, like, hey, you know what, like. I just have to beat the game on I don't know, was nightmare difficulty, whatever, and then I have a plan. Like, let's try it, and it was actually doable if you were careful enough. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I got the plat, and I was like, damn, this felt good.
did you
I
beat the
mean,
DLC for 3?
I don't even remember that one. For three, was
I
there
bought
DLC
it,
for
but I
three?
have yet to play it.
There was. I don't even remember. For three,
Yeah.
you said. I don't know. That's a good
Yeah,
one
look
though.
it up later down the road. Maybe if not, that's a DLC you can beat.
Ah, no, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, no, but that's not like it's not really. Is it story
No, it
DLC?
doesn't. I don't know if it has story content, but it's at least more Darksiders. That's what it's all about.
That's a good one. I have to check if I played it. Oh yeah, they have two DLCs. At the Crucible, I remember that, but I'm not
I
sure
mean,
they
the
have a.
Crucible is just, Crucible.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
other one
exactly.
is the more important one, which adds more enemies, I'm not sure about kill, but they do add more bosses.
Oh yeah. I'll check it out. It might scratch my itch until we actually get a fucking release date.
Not gonna lie, when we know release date for 3 and it's coming close, I'm actually I should do
Four.
a rerun of
Four.
all
Four.
3.
Four.
I
not
meant
three.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of so long it's been, I need to be on point when it comes to the story, because the story can become so freaking convoluted, so many betrayals. You don't know who is the good guy, who is the bad guy. It's
If you
insane.
start spoiling shit, I'm going to cut you. Calm
I'm not
down.
saying anything.
No, but you
I
have a
literally just said-
tendency to get caught up.
Famous last
Hey.
words from Omar.
Yeah.
No. I have no idea. I can't
I'm not
even
saying anything. Okay, let me tell you
even
the
if I
plot.
want to. I have no idea what's happening.
But don't tell him, you know, what outfits you gonna get, because that's a spoiler for Omar.
Yep.
Exactly. So I think it's safe to say for Weeb and for Omar that this show is a lot like the Nintendo show was for Morgan, where one game
Yep.
was all it took. So
I understand it.
Yeah.
No, for me,
understand
Yeah,
it.
not 99 out of 10. Yeah.
no, for me, this was actually a phenomenal showcase. Like they showed a few games I was already interested in. That Grandpa, the one's handwritten, that could look phenomenal. Besides that, from the maker of Little Devil Inside,
Little Nightmares.
Nightmare, yeah. I'm so down to that. That literally screamed to me Elden Ring. And the same of they're using the same animations,
Oh
the
my
same
God.
as I'm explaining what I mean. The same animation, the same asset, it's just in a different game name now, which is gonna have its own story. But if you look at it and you don't know the name, you would have easily confused it to Little Nightmares 3. That's how close they look alike. However, this one seems to be co-op, or at least
Little Nightmares 3 is so cool.
yeah, 3 is gonna be co-op. Yeah, at least either you're gonna have an AI that help you, or you might play with other people. So that's looking interesting. Besides that, yeah, no, I have never watched a single episode of SpongeBob, but the trailer made me want to play the game. That trailer looks so good.
The whole sentence was a crime you just said. I'm gonna require you to watch it before you play the game.
SpongeBob is after my time. Like I grew up with other
Sir. We're not gonna sit here and say that when you've been sitting there watching these Pixar child movies all month. We're not gonna sit here and say it's past you. Okay,
Get
you've
him,
been
Morgan. Get him.
nothing but watching children's movies.
That's a
Okay, so
movie I grew up with. What are you talking about?
you're not past watching SpongeBob. Okay, bro, you were
I
sitting here
I never
watching
hold up. I
Incredible
never
Sonic, Mario, like
I
little children's museum,
no I
whatever the
never
fuck.
no. I never said I never trash talked SpongeBob. I only said when SpongeBob came out, I was already more than an adult, so I didn't have not only access to it, I just had no interest in it.
Well, Omar, that's debatable.
Well, this is why I'm debating because I'm like, but you're an adult now, and you're currently watching child movies. Like, so I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but again, I'm not knocking SpongeBob. I'm just saying how it just I never got into it. That's it. I fully
I get
aware
you.
it
I
it
get you.
have
I
it.
get you. But I'm saying if you're gonna play the game, I'm gonna need you to watch the show at least like a couple seasons, like at least the first 2 seasons.
How many seasons does this shit have? Do you know?
You said what?
How many seasons does SpongeBob have? Do you know?
A lot.
Too many? Like it has a
Yeah.
lot. Like the show's been
Okay,
out
I'm gonna
since
check it
like
out. Like,
one.
okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Okay. But yeah. So
Yeah,
obviously
so
we got your take. So is there something else from the
A
show?
number, I would give it an 8 or a 9. Like, what phenomenal showcase.
That's some high ass praise, but okay, cool. I mean, I
enjoyed
didn't
what I
say you don't
enjoyed.
gotta justify it, sir. I just said that's some high ass praise. We can move on. You're good.
Okay.
All right, Weeb. What was your impression of the show and uh your score?
I already gave my score.
I mean,
99 out of 10.
99. Okay.
Yeah.
So we love this show. Morgan, you went back and watched the show later. How did you like the show, ma'am? Any standouts for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean, I didn't really care for the show, but you know, Omar,
How
we
dare
had to
you?
have the game that they look. I'm not like again. I'm not gonna knock you guys because you got the game you wanted. Like I completely understand. That's how I was with the Nintendo show. They didn't give a crap about none of that shit, but they gave me the one game I wanted. 10,000 out of 10. You know, so I get why you guys feel like that.
Okay,
I
I
did
want
like.
to I want to revise my rating in eight. It's 99,000 out of 10.
I knew you were gonna do
He
that.
said, just to clarify, we're gonna
9
get
million,
them a
9
little higher.
million time infinite. That's how.
Oh,
That's how
man.
for. Yeah, infinity. You want to play it like that, Wave? I can play it too. I am more the diehard fan.
Omar,
let's
you're
go.
No,
terrible. You
Omar,
are
we
terrible
heard
at
you. You
this
said an
game.
8
By
out
the
of
way,
10.
you're terrible at this game because he said that because she said 10,000, so he said 99,000.
Yeah.
I said time infinite. I said infinite. So it's
But you're
over.
fighting for the same show that we just upped the score on, so it's irrelevant.
No,
That's why I
but-
said you're
but-
terrible
no,
at
but,
this
no,
game.
but,
He-
No,
he- that man-
Omar,
that man-
it's fine. You can.
That man went from
It's-
18,000.
I'm
like,
showing him that I am the more hardcore fan of DarkSiders
Oh
than
my
him.
god.
That's it.
You-
Yeah.
but
oh man.
to reiterate, Omar
He went
sucks at
from-
this
he went
game.
from-
No, Omar, where's your plat for Darksiders 1?
I might have the blood for DarkSiders too, but I need to check.
Oh man.
He said I
Oh
might.
man.
Yeah, he got it.
He getting the
Let me
card
check,
pulled.
let me check.
Getting the
I
card
put a
pulled.
lot of time in DarkSiders too. I remember that one.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing. All right. Like I was saying, yeah, it was straight. It was pretty good. I mean, the only really thing that kind of stood out for me was Reanimal because that's obviously from the makers of Little Nightmares, which I'm a big fan of. It looks really good. It looks even darker than Little Nightmares, to be honest.
Yeah, it does.
Like from the gameplay segments that we've seen from Little Nightmares 3, you know, it's got that, you know, thriller, you know, aspect to it, but it doesn't look at like, you know, crazy scary. But Reanimal looks like it's gonna be some like sick, twisted shit. Like with this the whole concept of like the pig walking around with its guts out already is cringy enough, but it looks like it's gonna be more of the horror aspect. So I'm glad it's gonna be co-op because that way I'll at least have like Nate's ear to scream into when shit gets real.
Oh,
But yeah, it looks good. I don't think they haven't given a date on it yet, have they?
they haven't.
Think
No,
maybe they
haven't.
have. I don't. Okay. Yeah, because I think Little Nightmares is this year, and then I think Reanimal is like 2026 or something. But yeah, it looks really good. Can't wait for that. But other than that, I mean, the
Hmm?
Eternal Life of Goldman looks like I said. I really like the art style. I really like the kind of jagged frame rate that they're doing with it. Like I said, it looks kind of like a moving storybook. But the gameplay, you know, it's a platformer. I don't have a problem with platformers, but this one looks really intricate. And I was just like, I don't know. But I did like the narration of it. The whole mom talking to her son started off like lighthearted, and then it got real dark all of a sudden. So it seems like it's gonna be at least it's gonna have like a really good story to it. But we'll see. Maybe they'll like put a demo out on consoles, and I can just try it out. Um, you know, I'm always looking for a fun new indie, so I may do that. But other than that, yeah, the SpongeBob game looked pretty good. I might pick that up like on a sale or something. But yeah, that was pretty much it for me. So I'd probably give it like a 7.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. For me, yeah, it's about the same. It's like a 6 or 7 or something like that in there. Pretty solid. They showed some new stuff. Despite the Fate Keeper thing not being Kingdoms of Amalur, the new game, the game actually called Fate Keeper that I have on screen now actually looked really good. They said gives me Skyrim or Oblivion remake vibes. So hopefully they live up to that, and it's actually as intricate as when it comes to story and character development and stuff, and being able to explore an incredible world. But what they showed so far looks really good. They said a few of the other things look interesting. Don't really know if anything's really day one out of what I've seen, but like I said, ultimately I think they had a really good showing. It looks like they're working on quite a bit. THQ looks like they're back in the saddle like they need to be. So after they had all that restructuring and a couple other things that happened prior, it looks like they're back on track. So I'm interested to see where some of this stuff goes. I'm interested to see more of Fate Keeper and see really what kind of happens with especially the DarkSiders series. Like I said, especially I know that's going to be big for a lot of people. They've been going on that for a long time, and this will be like the big conclusion with all the Four Horsemen and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see the culmination of all that. I'm sure they'll put out like a compendium or something where they put all of them together and kind of let people experience them before this one comes out, because it's been quite some time since the prior games came out. So but yeah, overall pretty good. Like I said, 6 or 7 for me as well. Then moving to the next topic here. This is not something that most of us really play, but it was a big thing that happened in recent gaming news. But Battlefield 6 reveal happened recently. They had a big showing. All the streamers, typical, make all the noise as possible, for honestly one of the few games that has forever been trying to rival Call of Duty. Battlefield has always had like a specific set of people who really, really followed it, who kind of loved or hated different versions of it, like most of these games are. But a lot of people are really excited for what Battlefield 6 looks like. They're also, Morgan also pointed out to me that the campaign is returning, which is big, because I've always really liked the Battlefield campaigns. I felt like they were a lot more grounded than Call of Duty, and I really appreciated that. I really enjoyed the last time they had a campaign, so I'm excited to play that. They did announce a couple betas up and coming as well. So even if you're not, a big fan, they're giving a lot of people a chance to try it, get a feel for it, see if you like it. They showed a big multiplayer reveal, tons of people playing. I did watch some of the footage. It looks really good. Like I said, they definitely had a couple of them shown, and interestingly enough, a lot of the people who were playing on PS5 Pros as well, when these games are definitely usually shown on PCs. So I thought that was interesting that the PS5 Pro was there. Despite all the noise people like to make about that, it's clearly the definitive way to play the game if you're on console, which they showcased live while they were there as well. So like I said, the game looks really good. The CEO did extend to some other information in regards to that, stating that with Battlefield 6, they're investing more than they ever have before, looking to build a platform rather than just a single product, in a way that I think a lot of these companies, they didn't give any detail, but I think basically the way he's alluding to it is a way that a lot of these other companies are seeing expandability from a lot of these IPs. So not just the game, not just like how can you expand the gameplay during the cycle or course that the time the game is out, but also potentially a movie or TV shows or things like that for Battlefield. Like there's tons of action movies and things like that, so I could see plenty of room for them to have like a Battlefield storyline with the TV show and other things that they could really expand and make a universe out of this. So it'll be interesting to see what that investment is. They did say we'd see really soon what they mean by that. And they've got a ton of their teams working on this title. So he's not lying when he says they're putting more behind this than they ever have. So honestly, if this doesn't do it for Battlefield fans, I don't know what will at this point. Because like I said, EA is pushing really hard for this one and putting a lot of incredible talent behind it. So hopefully it's everything that those people dreamed and wanted. And hopefully I have a little fun in it myself. We'll see what happens. But Morgan, I know you did get a chance to see it, and you like what you saw from some of it, and talked about you might give the beta a chance. How was the reveal for you? Is it something that interests you? Do you like what you see at least? And how are you feeling about the upcoming Battlefield 6?
Yeah, everybody's been, I guess, waiting on bated breath as far as like people who are first person shooter fans have been waiting to see what the new Battlefield was. And if you know anything about Battlefield and its kind of place in the gaming industry and COD, Battlefield has always been that one game that had the potential to overtake COD, but it's always like did something to fuck it up essentially. Like it always trip on its own feet, but by adding something people didn't want or taking away stuff people did like from the previous games.
Yep.
In the last Battlefield like failed expeditiously. um that was like a thing people were worried Battlefield wouldn't even be coming back because of how bad it bombed. But with this Battlefield, I mean, I want to say it looks really good, but like I said, people we were fooled by the trailers of the last Battlefield because it looked really
That is
good,
true.
but then it turned out to be a nothing burger essentially. But this, I don't know, it looks really, really good. They've added a lot of different elements, like being able to go into buildings and like shoot out if your enemy is under you and they're like in the floor below you. You can like shoot out the floor or like put a grenade on the floor and put a big hole in the floor. Or take a sledgehammer, or if they're above you, do the same thing. You can shoot out the floor from under them so that they fall. It's just Battlefield is just an explosive, all-out war. You know, it's just you fighting to survive with like 60 million other people on the battlefield, and hoping you don't get hit by like a stray bullet or a random helicopter that just falls from the sky. Um, but it just looks like balls to the wall crazy, and which is what people like about Battlefield. So hopefully it plays well. From they did show a lot of streamers, like you said, playing the game after the multiplayer reveal, and it did look good. As far as like the live stream goes, it looked good. It looked fun. But let's just see how long Battlefield can capitalize off of that, because you can start off really well in a game, but then people get bored, because you don't add the new maps, or you don't add new game modes, or just the gameplay itself is just kind of stale. Like it's good for a couple weeks or a month, but then it just kind of gets boring. So we gotta hope Battlefield holds strong. Just because I think COD needs a kick in the ass, to be honest. COD has
Agreed.
just
100%.
gotten out of control. It's not fun anymore. It's gotten to the point. I used to be like a OG COD fan, and I could not give two craps about COD now. I feel like they've lost themselves. They're trying so hard to chase the new trends that that Gen Z like. The whole skins of 16 different IPs. You got you got King of the Hill and American Dad, fighting Nicki Minaj. Like, just like why? It's supposed to be like I get caught as an arcade shooter, but it's just like it's getting out of control, and they're not even fixing the things that people want, and it's just not fun anymore. I don't really care to get on it. Like I bought the last COD I think I bought was maybe it was 2022, but I remember getting COD for the launch of PlayStation to PS5 just because
Hmm.
it's a new console. I wanted to see how COD played on it, and it was straight, but it's just uninspired.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that says
and
it
I hope,
perfectly.
yeah, I hope that Battlefield offers enough competition to like make Activision, sit up a little straighter and want to actually improve COD as as a whole, because they haven't had any competition in the space. No matter how many times people complain about COD, it's a lot like games with like 2K or Madden, right? People complain about those games every single year, saying they're not doing much improvements. The gameplay is this. I don't like this mode. I don't like that. They're crazy with their microtransactions, but every year they're at the top of the charts. Why? Because it's the only game in the genre. So there's got no competition. So people are kind of just, if you want to play basketball, or if you want to play football with the major stars, you have to play these games, right? And
Hmm.
so COD's kind of been like that since it's like the only major military shooter. That's what a lot of people who like those type of games, they just buy it anyway, regardless of how much they complain. So
Exactly.
hopefully Battlefield will be that game that, will attract a lot of people who like military shooters and kind of hit at COD sales. Like it won't kill them, right? Because COD is just too big. But hopefully it'll, take enough of the percentage off the top. The Activision's like, oh, okay, it's not as good as we projected it would be. And they're see, okay, it was because of Battlefield. Battlefield saying that they're not going to do the skin things. They're not going to have, Fortnite s skins. They're going to keep it. It's a military shooter. Going to keep it a military shooter, which I'm happy about. I'm like, good. Okay, keep it that realistic kind of grounded feeling to the game. Um, and it's gonna have like a open beta in September, no, August, sometime. It's coming up soon in a few weeks, I think.
Yeah, there's a
Like I said, it's
bunch of
open.
betas each weekend or something from next
Yeah,
weekend. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be open, so you don't have to pre-order the game or anything like that. So that's good. Hopefully, it is at least 99 or 90% there, right? Because no game is perfect, but hopefully it's got a good enough foundation where they don't have to make any major changes before release. um but yeah, as I'm saying, it looks good though. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, just simply because I want somebody to bring competition to COD needs it. They're getting too big for their britches, essentially. And they need somebody to come through and bring something that people have been asking for, which is that strict military shooter, um, that focuses on that tactical type of gameplay. And hopefully it'll do well. Um, yeah, I think what it's coming in. Wait, what was the date for it?
I think it's
October, I think.
October 10th, I want to say.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's a pretty good date. That's like a week after um Ghost, which is interesting. Um, at first I was like, when I looked at the date, I was like, wait, it's the same day that Ghost comes out. I had to go back and look, and I was like, oh, okay, wait, no, it comes out after, like a week after, so it's fine.
Good old
But
fall,
yeah, I'm
crowded as
excited.
usual.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm excited to see how it will turn out. Hopefully, EA will rise to the occasion and not disappoint us like they always do. But it's EA, so I won't be surprised if it fails astronomically. But here's hoping that Battlefield brings something. And like you said, yes, they brought the single player campaign back, which was very surprising
Yeah,
because
Sam.
people really don't care about Battlefield's campaign. Like it was always kind of an afterthought, even though, like you said, I like them as well. But they were always kind of an afterthought for a lot of people. Like people would buy COD for the single player, but then they would buy Battlefield for the multiplayer. No one ever really paid attention to COD's or Battlefield's campaign, but it looks like the campaign's going to be good. And they're going to show more about it, they said, in a couple weeks. So I'll be excited to, if I get the game, at least I'll have a campaign to play as well as the multiplayer to dabble in. But yeah, all signs are looking like COD is finally going to have some competition, which is competition's always great. So
Agreed.
here's crossing my fingers, hoping it turns out well.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, I think you said it best. For me, all those things, and hoping that, like I said, COD really needs the competition right now more than ever. They have some of the worst servers to ever grace a multiplayer game. So
Yeah,
this is the
pings be all
prime.
off.
Yeah, ping entirely off. Over 60 ms ping on a bunch of games. Honestly, they've just been slacking because they can. So yeah, definitely here's hoping that this is everything that they're promising, and a ton of people really dig it. Hopefully, like I said, I know Battlefield fans. Like I said, I'm more of like a run and gunner, so it doesn't Battlefield doesn't work as well for me as it does for some people. So I'm more close quarters combat and stuff like that. But like I said, what I've seen looks good, and I've always, like I said, been a fan of the campaign, so I'm excited to take a look. I'll run to Weeb real quick. Like I said, I don't think either one of you really are into this game like that, so
Nope.
but if you have any comments, that is fair. Omar, I don't think you play it either, so or really care. So Omar, did you have anything to add? Okay, Omar has nothing to say.
And him and that fell asleep. He said,
Yeah.
that's how boring
Yeah,
Battlefield is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, knocked
You fell
out.
asleep.
Yeah. Omar was like, yeah, absolutely not. Yeah.
He's like, I'm good, thanks.
So we'll run up to the next topic here. This one is probably the big one. You've seen it all over the timeline. It's been all over the place. The discussion with
Can you hear me?
a bunch of stuff. Yes, we can hear you now. Were you talking?
Yeah, I was talking. My mic. I need a new mic, but yeah, no, you could, you can skip me, which you did. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, moving to the next topic here. Like I said, the big one, the main one, the one I made the thumbnail about, censorship. This has always been a topic, usually in video games for like lesser reasons. People flipping out over like text, being slightly changed in translation and other little stuff like that. But now it's getting into a much bigger field, and there's a lot of push going on in a lot of different ways right now. With the recent blocking of adult rated only games by Visa and MasterCard, forcing Steam to remove them, it's now being followed up, like we told a lot of people, by another game being attacked and removed from another platform, which I had never even heard of this platform, to be honest. But apparently they're running into the same issue with payment manufacturers like or payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, and removing the games as well. And now they're also attacking a game called Mouthwashing, which apparently the game had some other issues going on where the listing was improper, but then also recently came under fire for this recent blocking as well. So it looks like they're trying to target other games for other reasons. The group that is apparently responsible for this apparently tried pressuring Steam to do it prior and were unable to, so they went around them and essentially tried to pressure Visa and MasterCard, who we all know are essentially, standard corporations are always dumbasses when it comes to targeting certain things, and specialized groups can often, kind of skew or say whatever they need to get these companies who are not involved in these sectors to kind of bend to their will or whatever, and get what they want passed and things of that nature by appealing to them and saying, it's one thing or another. And that seems to be the case about what happened here, to the point where even MasterCard is trying to deny that they're not blocking anything, which is so stupid because the statement was already given by Steam about what happened. So everybody knows it's Visa and MasterCard. MasterCard's trying to act like, oh, no, it's just Visa and, I'm just on the sideline. So they're clearly lying. So we're definitely entering a weird state of, things obviously, your money essentially affecting things it shouldn't be. Visa or MasterCard should have no say in what you're purchasing. That's just weird. Especially not forcing an entire platform to remove those titles, which is weird. Like I said, having them behind like, the new ID verification system or something, sure, adult only games, that makes sense, whatever. But then, you run into the same thing that's happening with that kind of stuff, right? So in wake of the blocking and censorship happening for some of these things, again, grown-ass people with their own bank accounts who've been working for a living being told you can't purchase these things is ironic. Meanwhile, 100+ proof alcohol sitting on the shelf, just right there. So apparently video games is where we all draw the line. Video games and social media, apparently. So now, of course, with that news as well, we also had, in tandem with the blocking and censoring of those things, we're now hearing leaks about the upcoming GTA gearing up for ID verification, using your real ID in order to play online. As well as, obviously, it's been spreading outside of gaming, with the UK making a ruling where it looks like Spotify is set to delete your account at some point if you don't verify using the ID verification system. And then YouTube also announced on August 13th in the US, they would implement ID verification. Again, like we told people, this kind of system and combination of blocking, it's all kind of happening at once. So the censorship and blocking from Visa and MasterCard, plus the ID verification system being implemented currently by the US, the UK, some European countries, as well as Australia. Those are the ones I've heard about so far. But like I told people, anytime the government or governments who literally don't get along with each other, who never agree on anything, all of a sudden all agree on something, you can bet it's never going to be good for you. And, you know, some people thought, you know, oh, it's only going to be adult only games and blah, blah, blah. And like people here, you know, it started with the porn, right? They were like, oh, we want to protect the children from porn. So you have to, you know, register your ID with that or whatever. And, you know, that's how you can watch porn. And it's a whole thing, right? So I'm relating all these things so people understand the scope that this is happening at. It's not just video games, right? It's all over the place. And like I said, it started with that. Only for them to now come for like YouTube and other things, right? And the biggest thing to understand in the combination of what's happening here is like just a general attack on honestly your freedoms, and what, you know, the government now stepping in from trying to tell you how to raise your children to trying to tell you what you can and cannot do, right? One of the biggest things to think about with this kind of stuff is that you are talking about most of these things are anonymous, right? Your Spotify has nothing to really do with you unless you like signed up with your Facebook or whatever, right? And it could have still just been a whatever Facebook, like, or whatever. So people can still make up stuff and not assign anything to it. So your anonymity could still be the thing. YouTube, same thing, right? And if someone digs deep enough, most of these places could find that, you know, what email you use, this, that, and the third, cross-reference things. But ultimately, this is looking like a form of control from government entities, identifying people and trying to get rid of online anonymity to a degree, right? They're targeting all the popular platforms. One of the things to keep in mind with YouTube is one of the biggest areas where people do a ton of research. There's a ton of, you know, outspoken people on YouTube who, you know, speak about or against government institutions and other things going on, or hidden information and things of that nature. By having your ID attached to something, they could block something based on U.S. residents only and other things like that, very easily ensuring that you are registered as, you know, your ID would be attached to your YouTube and a bunch of other stuff. So like I said, this gets pretty complicated. It's going pretty deep. We're going to focus on the gaming aspect of it, but it's just spreading like wildfire as far as the internet. And obviously we're all here on the internet right now having this conversation. So yeah, this was the warning shot was shot a while back, and a lot of people just kind of didn't pay attention to it because everybody thought it was just going to be, oh, it's only porn and adult rated only games, and, you know, I don't need to trip. And again, like I said, we had this conversation in Thrifty's Discord a while back, and just kind of we just kind of warned them. We were like, yeah, this isn't how this works. Like, the moment they realize no one will bat an eye at them blocking something entirely or removing something entirely, like, they're gonna go for the very next thing they can get away with. And it didn't even take a week. It was like 4 days later, and then just more ID verification, more blocking, more censoring, more it to the point where it's getting crazy. And then also the other concern from someone like me that works in IT or information security, in combination with this stuff, you've all seen what happens when some of these companies that do have your data and do have your identification, some of your sensitive information, famously, at least, I don't know if it affected elsewhere, but famously, at least here in the U.S., one of the what is it? The credit bureaus got hacked. a while back, and they had a massive leak, right? That thing that's never been contained, and all that really came from that is the CEO stepped down. Who cares? I don't care that she stepped down. Like, our data is out there, and now everybody is essentially forced to be on like LifeLock or whatever, which is a paid service that has to watch all your stuff to see if someone's opening bank accounts in your name or opening credit cards in your name, because your information is potentially out there on the dark web or other places. And this is the other danger, right, with this stuff. You cannot trust any of these entities to hold your information. This is why the anonymity was so important, right? It wasn't just for you, the person, as it pertains to whatever you watch and all that stuff being none of their business, but also protecting you as a person in general. Because, I mean, you can already dox people and stuff, right? Now, if your ID is just sitting here, you know, they're like, oh, it's encrypted, oh, it's whatever. There's always a way. Someone always finds a way. There's always a leak. There's always a mistake in an update that leaks all your information. And make no mistake, it's coming, because none of these entities can keep any of this stuff 100% protected. There's no such thing as a system that's 100% protected unless it's just not on the internet. Like, it's not on the internet. It's a completely air gap computer in a Faraday cage. And if anybody doesn't know what a Faraday cage is, quick expression, it's literally something that's meant to basically block all signals from exiting the location. So yeah, unless your information is being stored that way, yeah, it has a potential to be accessed. So this is just dangerous on a number of ways, and a number of issues are arising because of that. Like I said, the irony of this, I always tell people, is like all these places, the UK, whatever, places in Europe, the United States especially, always jokingly talking the most shit about China and how they block you and they from all these things, and they censor all these things, only to turn around and now they're essentially trying to do the same shit here, while also already trying to introduce other bills to block things. There's already people reporting that there are ISPs blocking access to VPN websites via DNS blocks. And again, like, a lot of this stuff is like things that, you know, a nerd like me or something, or someone who works in IT would know how to get around, but the common person is not going to know what the heck is happening. They're not going to understand why their VPN's not working. And then who's to tell you that they don't just start blocking, you know, people looking for a solution, and they don't just start blocking that, right? Oh, well, you can't go to Reddit anymore. You can't go to that Reddit anymore because that Reddit tells you how to get around the DNS block we put in. Like, again, you're getting to the point where they are potentially trying to censor or block everything. And it's not, like I said, this expands well beyond video games. But like I said, the entire point of bringing it up is it's technology and video game related, that's being affected, first and foremost, and then it's spreading to other things, which affects all of us ultimately, right? But I know you're big into a lot of this stuff and what's going on. How are you feeling about this whole wave of things that are going on, but especially as it pertains to gaming?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know me. I mean, I've been on this for a while now, and this is not just about, like I said, gaming, or not even, you know, corporations getting your data. This is literally about free speech. This is literally about them trying. Uh, if you have an opinion they don't like, they want to be able to censor you, right? It's because you see it already. It's not just, you know, uh, games, or you know, porn or whatever. They're even like we see people even, you know, political speech is getting censored, and in particular
Mm-hmm.
about literally political parties trying to, you know, tweet something about, hey, you know, subscribe to your party. That gets now age restricted. So this is literally about them. They feel threatened because the internet provides not just anonymity, but provides us an opportunity to, you know, see the actual news. You know, not just, you know, what is catered, you know, or curated,
Exactly.
you know, by yeah. I mean, I don't want to say with mainstream media, because I've learned in the last couple of years that, you know, how how much the image that we were shown, by what we see in the news is very much curated to meet, to stay within the line, of what the current government is preaching, right? So that it doesn't, rustle any feathers. That doesn't. I mean, these people, they have careers to think about. Their corporate media, of course, they have an agenda. Of course, they have to toe a line, and they were basically just railroaded and by smaller independent outlets, by social media, basically, because people could just see what's happening, everywhere in the world with all the wars going on. But
Mm-hmm.
and that's definitely underlying this, right? This was a long time coming, but it's definitely they're saying like, yeah, we don't like it that you're able to, figure out that when we tell you there's no seer, there's actually seer. We don't like it that we can't, control the narrative anymore, because anybody, with a computer can just, or with a phone, can just look it up. And this is the real aim of this. Yeah, there, as always, the saying goes, they first come for your porn and then they take away your freedom. Because
Yeah.
that's exactly what they're doing, and it's very worrisome. And we see the UK headlining this, but I know that Europe, the EU is also trying to, has been busy for a while trying to implement legislation like that. And yeah, I'm very concerned as well about sort of the technical implications. Like I'm very cautious with how I share my data. Like I know, like every time, like when you see on Twitter, like somebody saying, "Hey, yeah, if you're born in this month, that this is your, I know, your favorite anime character, right?" And then the next time, like, oh, if you're born in this year, and or if you're born on this day, this is social engineering, right? They're trying to get your data, trying to admit you, okay, give your personal data,
Yeah. You think you're just
slowly.
participating in something fun and you're admitting something
Exactly,
publicly. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly, and then they all combine that to basically, life literally life hack you, because that's how they do it. Uh and now we're asked to, ask corporations, or God forbid, the government to try, because let's face it, like the government is terrible at IT. Like they always waste too much money and they never get things done. They have age-old computers that they're paying a fortune on support for, I know they still run their PCs on Windows 95, and we should trust those people with our data.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, not a chance. So yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, fight this any way you can, make people aware of that, and yeah, VPN is your friend. I mean, that kind of thing is this is getting really dark. Like um I'm worried about, this is a massive overreach, that this is not just about, them, they always use excuse. Yeah, we have, think of the children. Yeah, it's never about the children. Like with,
It's definitely not.
yeah, yeah, sure. Let's ban violent video games, but let's not ban the tools that are actually used for the killing. Or you know, I know in your, when there's in your country, when there's a school shooting, apparently the police doesn't even have to risk their lives anymore, because that's not, part of their job description.
Yeah.
They can just stand outside and wait. Like
And they did.
it's crazy. Yeah, they literally did, and they literally was a legal, ruling by a judge that, yeah, right, yeah, they don't have to. I know that they have to protect and serve, but apparently don't have to. And they still get taxpayer money. But I mean, I digress. But that's the fucked up thing is like um, they keep trying pushing it, try pushing how far they can go, and every time like this is about control. They want to control the narrative, they want to get it back their ability to dictate the news, and this is part of it. This is sort of the opening salvo, and yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried that this keeps getting worse. Like they're so concerned about their current position in the world that there's you see the conflicts in the world. You see that the Europe and America are worried about China, and so they and ironically they're gonna look at China with their great firewall. Let's have one over here as well, so we can protect you from the Chinese propaganda and anything else we don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Anything else we don't like.
yeah. I mean, this is like like I said, this is I worry about this. Like I know. I mean, I know enough about how it all works that you know it's all like bullshit. It's all a rigged game. We all know that. I mean, we've seen it with everything. The
Hmm.
stock market is rigged because as soon as uh, you know, con- you know, normal people, especially gamers, like with the GameStop thing, try to profit from the stock market. They thought, yeah, no, that's not allowed. No, only we are allowed to do that. You're not allowed to make money out of stocks, and that's with everything. Like the entire game is rigged, and they basically just don't want you limit your options to figure it out. I guess that's kind of the entire shtick, I suppose.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean that's all we could really do. Yeah. Black Frost. Yeah, he was just like exaggerating because that's like the running joke is like a lot of government entities and stuff usually are on like a bunch of old hardware and a bunch of outdated systems and stuff like that, and then it's a whole thing. um,
Oh, I know. I mean, I had a part-time job at the tax office, and I know, like I was like, dude, why are we doing this? Like, this can be, we can do this way faster. And then they, yeah, you're not supposed to do that because our systems can't handle this because we can't figure this out. Like, okay, and you're basically responsible for making sure this country has money.
oh yeah, yeah. I've definitely seen some like really old programs and other stuff like that that places use, and they're like, oh, we don't want to switch. And I dealt with that a lot when I did uh I was an application support engineer for production accounting software. You just had people who like never wanted to update from like
Yeah,
the standalone Excel because they were aware that M365 would allow them to access their stuff from anywhere, but they also just wanted Excel 13 or whatever forever, or Office 13 because they don't want to update and they don't want to have to pay or whatever for the contract, which again that's something I deal with now, where a lot of people businesses, they want to be cheap as possible to manage overhead,
yeah,
and they don't want to pay for the licensing for some of the features they want, and then they're like, oh well this is behind like premium business plan, and you need this, that, and the third if you want to access this. And so yeah, it gets complicated, and you can definitely
yeah,
most companies are like uh, have a adoption rate of like, for a while, when I would see like when if Windows 11 was out for like a year and a half, then they might go to Windows 11. You know what I mean? To 2 to 3 years,
yeah.
sometimes even, where they would stay
Yeah,
behind.
yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, like the word offenders are the government and banks.
Yeah. Well, and banks have like some of them have really ancient systems. It's not like their regular computer, the one where they're like looking you up in your regular data based on the app. It's the other internal systems that are on like really old stuff because it only works on this type of computer or whatever, or this type of hardware. So yeah, it can get really archaic depending.
If you yeah, if you learn COBOL back in the day, you can ask whatever rate you want because they're like unicorns. People still understand it, and all the banks and the government agencies run on that shit, and barely anybody knows how it works anymore.
Yep, pretty much. But yeah, man, this stuff is actually it's really scary. Like I said, it's kind of ironic that like I said, I talked to Priscilla is really into like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and but a lot of people have talked about certain things, and there's like a whole thing where she's talked about where their goal is to eventually reset the internet, so like the internet will go down for like a day and come back up, but when it comes back up, it'll be different. And
I mean, Kojima always predicted it. Huh? If you ever play Metal Gear Solid 2,
yeah,
yep.
absolutely. Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of credence to a lot of that stuff coming up now, where it's like, well, it's looking like they're really trying this whole control the internet thing, as
Yeah,
much as they possibly can.
the crazy thing is like I listened to uh, I think it was a retrospective of Metal Gear Solid 2, and some of the yeah, we checked with some AI experts. Say, yeah, this technically is possible. That like because they said like okay, sort of the thing was like they're like way more chromosomes in the human body than we know of, but they censored that. Like they basically like there's twice as many,
Yeah,
but they yeah. And things like how would you be able to pull it off? Yeah, with AI you could technically pull that off because every researchers when they do a research, the data is just uploaded to a system. They're just going to check, hey, is there anything else that already did a paper on this? Uh, and nobody's going to check the data directly because it's too much information. So
exactly.
in the end, like if you have an AI, which surely they're fast enough to they could just in real time edit the data, and you would never know.
That is true. Yeah, I actually was explaining that to Priscilla earlier when we were talking about a lot of people using AI to like assist themselves in their job, but I was explaining to her like even when we look stuff up and we're double checking information before we have to like deliver it to a client or whatever, you also we have to read it and go through it and make sure the information is accurate because the
Oh
problem
yeah.
with AI is that it's only looking up an amount like an amalgamation of what people have said. It's not giving you a constructed answer. It is giving you a combined answer about what we have said, the people. So if we, the people, were wrong, it's going to give you the wrong information. So you have to verify that the information is actually accurate.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did you hear that ChatGPT had like a feature where you could basically make your conversations available, basically index your conversation so you can Google it. Like they
That's
had to turn it off
crazy.
because nobody figured out they could opt out. So people were like all their personal information that they share with ChatGPT was basically you could just Google it.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't even see that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much stuff happening. Like, I never even caught that story. Like, that's insane. Oh man. But yeah, this is wild. But Morgan, how are you feeling about all this stuff? Like I said, you, you could stick strictly to the gaming stuff if you want, but like blocking, you know, blocking games from a your Visa and Mastercard, essentially telling you what you can and cannot purchase when it comes to video games of all things, right? Um, but also censoring some of this stuff, whether it's just flat out, which is another form, right? Just taking it away entirely. But how are you feeling about this, Morgan?
Oh yeah. I mean, I kind of knew this was gonna be a thing when like last year, uh in my state in particular, Pornhub got blocked unless you put your your ID on there, and I was just like, oh, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I was like, that's crazy. But now we're getting this rollout of basically like you guys been saying, all of these websites from Spotify to YouTube. It's
Mm-hmm.
now apparently Discord in some areas.
Yep, Discord too.
They're going to start requiring ID verification, and then along with the censorship of uh, the games, the of pornographic games as they call it, and now apparently some games in the horror category have been getting censored as well. So it's gonna be only a matter of time before all of a sudden, oh well, this game is too violent, so we have to censor this one too. Oh, this game is saying words we don't like, so we're gonna have to censor this one as well. Like it's just gonna be it's gonna just be a shit rolling down the hill type situation
Absolutely.
until we start living like 1984 out here. And it's honestly just it's just the irony of the whole idea of this so-called president that we have in office that is supposed to be, one who's against freedoms being taken away, is now like being quiet as hell about the fact that all of these entities, all of these companies are now requiring um, ID verification, and then censorship is just happening left and right. Like he's not saying anything.
Literally
It's very
nothing.
interesting. Nothing. Um, but yeah, it's honestly just like you said, it's just weird that how it all started just rolling out simultaneously, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
one after another, essentially. Just I really don't know how like people think that this whole situation is just, oh, it's fine, like, oh, it's for the children. Like we've said, this isn't for the children. Okay, this is literally about control, and being able to know who says what and who does what, right? Because we live in the current age where information is power, and so the more information you have on your citizens, the more control you can have over them. And so this is just about keeping all of that data and what they do and what they say, so you can just have it all under under one roof, essentially. Like as you guys were saying, that this, I don't believe at all that if we do give our information to the government or any of these companies, that any of the information will be safe. I mean, we can just look at an example of what happened, like literally, what was it, 4 or 5 days ago? Or I don't know if you guys heard about it, but the T app, it's like a new app that came out that's supposed to be like a safe way for women to kind of anonymously give other women advice about particular men that they've dealt with, like if this guy's like a cheater, if he's an abuser,
Mm-hmm.
if he has a criminal record, like just warning women about certain men, right? um and essentially the way you access the app is you have to give, even though it's anonymous, you have to give your ID. I guess it's to check if you're a woman or whatever, I don't know how it works. um but yeah, you have to give up your driver ID or your government ID, and apparently they had like a massive leak where all of the IDs
Yep, got
all the
leaked.
IDs got leaked, essentially. So now all the women that were on this app, anonymously, giving other women advice and stuff like that, are now at risk for the men that they were talking about. you know, like if any of these dudes want to come out on like a vengeance spree of women talking about them, now they have their names, addresses, because it's out there. And this is just one example of why giving your ID to an app or a company or entity is just not good. It's not okay, because there's no, even though they said they had like an encryption file and everything, and your identity was supposed to be safe, and oh, don't worry, you're anonymous, nobody's ever going to find out who you are. And boom, massive leak. Like I am not trusting any of these companies with my ID. Like it's just like that's just one example of what can go wrong by giving these companies your information. And it's just like again, this is essentially about control. This is about keeping tabs on people of, all countries essentially, and making sure you're saying the things that they want to say. And if you are saying the things they want to say, they'll use the algorithm to promote what you have to say, right? Yeah, keep saying this, keep rah-rahing the government, keep supporting our plans. We're gonna make sure the algorithm boosts whatever you have to say up. But if you're not, then we're gonna push you to the side. We're gonna make sure that your voice isn't heard. Um, it's it's honestly a scary reality to kind of live in, but you know, it's one that I don't know if enough people are going to speak up on it to reverse it. Like, because a lot of people are falling for that idea that this is for the kids. Like, I see a lot of people speaking up, but I just see even more people being like, "No, it's fine, it's fine." This is about child safety. When in reality, child safety should be left to the parent, right? There are safety measures in place, parameters that you can put onto your child's phone or iPad or computer. If obviously, if you want to keep them off certain websites, there's parental locks that you could do to keep that off, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the parent's right to do that. But to try to make this a government issue that they should care, especially like we've said, when the government does not in fact care about children, right? They let school shootings go on every day. Look, we were literally having, or we've been continuously having a debate, at least in America, about taxpayer money going to school kids lunches, like so that children could have free lunch at school. Like,
But
that's
it's
a
about
debate.
the kids
Why is
though.
this it's about, they care about the kids, but they don't care enough about them to feed them. That's the thing. The fact that this is actually a debate, like, people are upset. They don't want their taxpayer money going to children. Like, okay, let's continuously fund the military and shit, for them to just kind of posture all the time, even though they don't really do shit. But fuck the kids though. Like, I don't want them to go to school and
Well,
potentially some
well,
kids
well,
who,
well. For some, they take that literally.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. And it's just like,
They defended guns
Especially the
at
ones
school campus and everything in between, and the right to own guns uh, till to the death. But they care about the children, of course they care.
yeah, it's just like, I mean, you would think that would be just a normal human uh you know uh emotion, to just want to care about kids and just be like, you know what, yeah, I would love for my taxpayer money to go to children. I want them to be fed. But no, it's a whole debate. Like, people think, well, that's the parents' job. Okay, cool. Well, then why isn't the parents' job to put parental locks onto their children's, electronic devices, so that they're not exposed to certain elements of the internet? Like, apparently, no. The government has to take care of that for us. Like, the parents aren't, smart or equipped enough to handle that themselves, and they need the government to step in and start ID verification. Like, that's why, you just got to call bullshit when you see it, because this is nothing but bullshit. um and like you said, unfortunately now, it's leaking into all matters of life, and it's going into gaming now. um we can only hope that this will people will stand up against this, and this will stop, and this doesn't get to the point where all of a sudden now the only games we can play are like Barbie Horse Adventure. you
Exactly.
know, Something that doesn't offend the masses. But then again, they probably find something wrong with Barbie too. Um,
I mean,
but
it's feeling real Black Mirror right now, to be honest.
y- you
Like,
know, you know,
like
we're living in a dystopian era, and like we've said, they're trying to paint, China or Russia as the big boogeyman that's, you know, looming over America and their freedom and their rights. And, oh, look at all the freedoms you have, but look at these other countries. They don't have, the freedom to be able to go to places, and go to websites, and do the things you do, go here from there. And it's just like, okay, but like, every year that goes by, they're slowly taking one freedom from another, and it's like they try to hide it in a way that's, oh, it's for this reason, it's for that reason. I mean, that's that, honestly, it's like, this is exactly, not to exaggerate and like, try to, fan the flames, but I mean, this is exactly how Hitler took over. You know, he was just like, oh, we gotta do this. This is for your freedom. I'm just putting these people in a pen because of taxes. Like like he was just like making excuses as to why, oh, I'm taking over just because, the current government is just not doing exactly what they need to do, and oh, we're moving the capital here because it's just more strategic. And it's just, he was slowly but surely just saying, doing, and things that people were going over people's heads and making excuses. And that's how he was able to take over, because it wasn't just some one big fell swoop. He just did it slow and, right
Mm-hmm.
under people's noses, and they were just slowly allowing their freedoms to be just taken away. um and it's like, I'm just so annoyed by the fact that this is even happening to this point, because you would think in an age where of technology, where we have more access and to information, and uh you know available to us from, around the world, that we will be able to, freely exercise our right to have the ability to gain that information. But now it's just like, no, we're gonna it's funny though, because it's like the more Americans learn about how things aren't as painted as the US government, painted them, like the more we learn that China isn't as, scary and looming as the American government made us think they are,
When they
now
tried
the
to ban
more that they're
TikTok.
trying to, yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like like when the whole TikTok thing happened, it's like the more we're learning about, what's actually going on in countries, the more the US is starting to lock shit down. Like, wait, hold up, don't look it over there. Like, don't look at the man behind the curtain situation, Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this whole thing is complete bullshit. We can only hope that some officials that, that we're voting for and paying, our taxes are paying for their salaries, essentially, start doing their fucking job and fighting back, against these bills and stuff, because this is definitely goes against our freedom. I don't care what they say. But hopefully there's enough of a pushback that we get some of this stuff reversed.
Yeah, no, there definitely needs to be some protections in place and other things, 'cause they're just going crazy right now.
Oh no,
Like
this is for our protection. What do you mean?
yeah, they're just inventing bills out of nowhere, like thin air. Like this, it's crazy. Like I've read some other stuff trying to come
Yeah.
behind some of these other bills, and they're just like, no, we should block this too. You know what? While we at it, we should block that too. And I'm just like, all right, see, this is where, because somebody asked the other day, I didn't even know another CEO got shot or died or stabbed or whatever happened to her. I'm gonna be real, I probably don't really care at this point when it comes to CEOs, because almost none of them ain't shit anyway. But somebody was like, are we just gonna are like the CEOs gonna just like keep dying? And I was like, probably, at the rate they pulling all this bullshit. I mean, uh, the people, like, eventually, I'm like, what do you think happens, like, when people revolt? Like, the same way they're trying to come at you and take your shit, slowly you start taking their asses out, and then until
Listen,
you
we about to
finally get
have a
somebody in
whole
place.
French Revolution over here.
Like, for real. Like, like
Keep
Yeah,
it up, man.
to be fair, I think that was the target. What were, I think, NFL officials or whatever. So uh, unfortunately, she didn't get Luigi.
yeah. Yeah, I forgot. You, so you know who I'm talking about then. But yeah, that thing happened. But yeah, I mean, if more Luigis, pop up, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, that with all the
Yep.
Listen,
nonsense going on.
we need more.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, when I seen the National Guard deployed to assist ICE or something the other day, and like it was just crazy. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now,
And
bro?
fuck ice.
Yeah, like I was laughing when they actually got pushed out of a town they tried to come into, and even like the fire truck like pulled up and blocked the street while they were making them reverse out of the town, and like the whole town was just like blocking the street and telling them to get the fuck out. Like, I was like, oh, that is great. That's now that's some American shit. Like, so yeah, so again, like I said, combination of that stuff going on, all the politics, all the bullshit, man. It's crazy. Like I said, yeah, like gaming is like why this is being brought up in general, but it's happening so fast and in so many areas and so many facets. That yeah, man, we just got to be careful, man. Like I told somebody the other day, I was joking, I was like, we're 2 seconds from Visa just renaming themselves the Arasaka Corporation. I was like, I mean, they might as well. I mean, like, I'm sure there's Visa ninjas somewhere. Like they talk about in Cyberpunk with the Arasaka ninjas. I mean, we're right there, you know. Um, but yeah, just enough tracking and enough of this bullshit in place, and it'll be, oh, you can't say anything, you can't do anything, you can't. I was like, I was like, number one, I was like, why do you need? They claim it's for your ID or whatever. I was like, why are you tracking what people are like? I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But yeah. Last but not least here, Omar, how you feel about this as it pertains to the censorship of many things, but in particular how it's affecting gaming at a rapid pace, and this developing issue. How are you feeling?
Oh boy, this is a doozy, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way they're moving, it feels like this has been planned a year. This is not something you do on a whim. I feel like they were just looking for that one excuse to execute it, and they found one. I'm not blame Steam on this one. I know they would have found a different way to do it, but I'm a legit blame Steam on this one. They allowed, allegedly, for a game to be sold on their platform that allow people, women to get raped. Like, how is that acceptable? I understand video game and everything in between, but like, especially in today's climate, especially of the amount of what you call it, under fire team have came under with that one, basically a glorified killing game. I forgot its name. You play as dude and you start
So
killing
wait.
people.
So small correction to what you said. Steam removed that game. That had
Yeah, I
nothing.
know.
That had
Afterwards.
nothing to do with this. That game has been removed. That was years ago. So Steam did remove that. So that wasn't on Steam. And like I said, keep in mind these are adult only rated games that are specifically on here. But that game was specifically moved and is against their violation, and they do remove those games. So
Okay,
just want to make sure we put in the correct information out.
gotcha. Okay. But the people played it not right, but smart. They stepped on Steam and went all the way to who paid them, and they found a way around it. And it's interesting to see how uh, Visa doesn't want either Visa or Mastercard is what you call it, lying and saying they're not part of it. Like, they know it's bad, but I have no idea how much money are they making out of it or whatsoever. What are they gaining from doing what they're doing? With that being said, I don't trust my information with nobody. We said it best. This whole your anime, which is your favorite anime, gonna be the month you're born. I'm like, I'm gonna do it in my head, but you're never gonna see me type, oh, mine is One Piece, mine is this, mine is that. I'm like, gullible? Nope, we're not doing that. So they keep trying to get you to have access to your information. The crazy part is all these companies have gotten hacked before, and our information was either released or stolen or whatsoever. I'm talking PlayStation, Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, Microsoft. I don't know about Steam, if Steam ever got hacked, but like, how would you trust people with your information when they can't even keep your current information without your what you call it, your picture? Like, no. And the T up, that's on a whole different ball game. You thought it would be protected and everything, and then what? Got hacked. Either hacked or breached or whatsoever, and content got leaked.
Yep.
There is
And it's not just their
like,
names or IDs; it's their addresses and other things, and all that
yeah,
information got leaked. So yeah.
yeah, no, like, no. Like, there are moments, I don't know, I think people say that even Discord started implementing it. So at this point in time, I legit have no idea how to proceed on the internet without identifying yourself. If everything is, you know, taking part of it. I found a tweet where apparently Iran have created an what you call it, a web that could bypass all that. Uh, do your research on that one. Another thing, we spoke about it on Vitamin G podcast, and Pharaoh stated, "Hey, people are gonna gravitate toward the dark web for this one." I'm like, that's a whole different kind of one. Uh, with that being said, we are sadly powerless with this one. And they already admit, like, the UK people already admitted that it's not about the kids, it's about control. This is
Yeah,
about
the
total
interview.
censorship.
You're talking about the interview
Yeah,
where he admitted it. Yeah.
this is about total control, total censorship. They're censoring Free Palestine, they're censoring anything apparently anti-immigration posts. So uh,
Yeah.
they don't want people to have not only opinion but voice their opinion or concern. And yeah, we are ushering in a scary, scary, scary era. If we don't find a way around it, we are screwed. Because, like, imagine next week we try to log into Discord, they're asking for our ID. I'm sorry, I love the podcast. I love talking about gaming, but I don't think I'm gonna put my ID just so I can have the ability to log in on Discord. If if I need to survive without Discord, hey, so be it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a risk. I
But
mean,
it's literally that where we're heading. So again, I question them, like the companies that are gonna be for part of it are gonna lose a lot of money on it. So I don't understand how they are all for it. I legit don't understand what do they have to gain from it.
well, I mean, they want your data as well. So
Yeah. If
But they're
everything.
gonna lose people though. A lot of people are not gonna accept it.
yeah, but what it's uh so Warwana brought up something recently. So what a lot of this is about implementing is checking and seeing how far they can push and when and who's going to accept what.
Yeah.
It's they call it apparently the 80-10-10. So they believe 80% when they can get to a point where 80% of people comply, 10% of people question, and 10% of people resist. Like that's enough for them. That's what they're trying to get, where people won't think about it. And like I said, that's how they went from, like we told people when they started with the porn that was only the first straw, because everybody doesn't watch porn, and plenty of people could just be like, all right, whatever, like I don't want to put my information in there, so I won't watch it or whatever, right? Um, but when you have things that billions of people are into, that consume it readily, like something like YouTube or whatever, it's like you say you wouldn't do it for Discord, right? There's something they're gonna get to that you want to do. I know you watch a shit ton of YouTube, so like that's what I'm saying. So eventually YouTube, at least in the United States, is going to implement it, and if they're going to implement it there,
Spotify.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I know you don't use Spotify, but you use YouTube.
Yeah, no, but ton of people do.
No, but my point is, as it pertains to you, where you stated
Oh,
you
to me,
won't do it for Discord, like YouTube is looking at implementing this policy as well. So that's what I'm saying. There's a reason why it's all these different entities all at once, is because they're looking to get to something where they can force you to do it. You see what I'm saying? So if you won't do it here, they're trying to bet that you'll do it here.
I'm up for your permission, and afterwards either gonna go to the dark web or what you call it, the Iranian website. I meant the Iranian internet provider, like not internet provider, the Iranian internet browser. Like I know it's extreme, but I'm absolutely not putting my information on the line. I've been doxxed before. I know how it feels. I absolutely do know how it feels. Luckily, the one that doxxed me wasn't serious about doing what he said, or she, I don't know, uh, was about to do. But other people do what you call it, put you at risk. So nope, I'm never putting my information out there. So it is crazy. Yeah. You said about YouTube. It's it's a clusterfuck, and I'm curious what the end game is going to be. If uh, if people are gonna speak out, if we're gonna have if we're gonna have to, if we're gonna have to experience mass breaches, if maybe Anonymous can step in and do something about it, like at some point. Yeah, I'm grappling for straw, but
Yeah, I'm sure Anonymous will probably make a statement in regarding to a lot of this stuff eventually.
because this is not good. Like this is literally having control over you without the what you call it, having cameras all over the place. Like this is literally infamous second son without the the camera picture. Like
Oh,
no, you guys are laughing, but this is
yeah,
literally it.
I know, but like I wish Morgan was here.
Because when you said infamous,
It's so big.
I never played Metal Gear, so I don't have that content, but I do have the content for Infamous. So heck, what's the game name? Watchdog. This is literally Watchdog.
yeah, Watchdog.
Nah, fuck Watch Dogs.
But yeah,
No,
I
but
mean, it's what you're talking
I'm
about.
exaggerating.
It was all corporations and implementing a system that would watch
Yeah,
everyone everywhere all the time. Yeah, I mean that was Watchdog.
I'm a little bit exaggerating, but like I don't think we have ever seen something like this before to such degree.
I
Well,
mean,
I mean, basically every time there's like a free trade agreement, like you don't want to know what's in those agreements. Like that's literally they're putting corporations above the law because in those agreements there's provisions where yeah a country cannot sue a corporation, or if you do anything, like if you put in environmental protection laws that potentially would decrease profits for a corporation, that corporation can sue you, and you're not even allowed to bring it to an actual court because there's going to be arbitration by unelected officials who are going to decide whether or not your country will have to comply with whatever the corporation wants. So yeah, I mean, this has been
You
going
can't,
for a long time.
and you can't start a single game without accepting. You must accept, otherwise you can't start the game. So it is messed up.
No, yeah, I agree. But yeah, I don't know, man. Hopefully, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of moves to be made, and I don't know. We're dealing with all this crap on top of AI, on top of a bunch of other crap. So it is,
Yeah,
it's messy.
we're fucked.
Yeah,
Joy to our lab.
yeah, basically. Um, yeah, keep beefing up that server, Weeb. We're gonna we might need it, man. Might be the last bastion. We're gonna be out here like the Death Stranding. You know, we're gonna have to be connected via our Plex servers. We're like, yo, man, I need that content. Who's got the that latest anime? I need that. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. That was it for us. Like I said, stay safe out there, people. It's wild. It's scary. A lot of unemployment. A lot of things going on that are just not in a good state right now. But hopefully, the idea is that things will get better, and we start moving in the right direction instead of all this nonsense going on with all these governments that definitely do not care about any of us in reality. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Morgan had to go. She's about to drive home, so she had to hop out. So drive safe on that note. And Weeb, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Oh, well, actually, probably shouldn't because
Right? Right?
you don't know who's watching. For the time being, you can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome, and also Blue Sky, though I'm not really active on there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, stay safe. Be woke. Be
be aware.
awake. Be awake to what they're doing because they're coming for you. Yeah, but you can always trust the one and only Auto Nation.
Otter Nation. Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
So shout out to everyone that came through. Hit that like button, get the stream out. Stay safe. You can find me Carmen Scott on Twitter. I have Blue Sky, but I don't use that stuff. So yeah, and Vitamin G podcast every Monday 8 p.m. at the same time. Um, yeah. See you next week. Hopefully, if I'm not locked out of Discord.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, thank you for everybody that came through. Great discussions. Hopefully we could continue to have these, because Lord knows we have no idea what we're going to have tomorrow, apparently, based on everything that's going on. And what a world to inherit for the children of today.
Oh yeah, if you have kids, it's a scary place to be around right now.
Yeah, it is. It is not fun at all. But yeah, like I said, with that, man, hopefully you guys get to enjoy some gaming, some anime watching, some reading, or whatever you want to get into this weekend that is enjoyable. And thank you for taking the time to join us today. We're gonna get up out of here. But without further ado, Otter Nation.
Auto Nation.
Automation.